Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is TWitWoW in review. Maybe one of the biggest that we've done in a minute. Because, my God, we just saw Sonata become the IWGP Heavyweight Champion from Sakura Genesis last night. New Japan had, for the time being, a changing of the guard there. So congratulations to him again. But let's not beat around the bush. We know outside the business, outside of kayfabe developments, there has been a lot of talk, a lot of anger, a lot of turmoil. And also we know in kayfabe there are bigger news. We know the draft is coming in a few weeks. We had suspected it. It's happening. But what has me arching an eyebrow is even Triple H went out of his way to say this draft is going to change the game. I don't know if he wanted to kind of do a bit of pun there, given that he is the game, but regardless, huge fucking week outside of kayfabe. A decent week, I guess, in kayfabe. But you don't just want to hear from me. This is a two-man show. Partner, how'd you feel about this week? I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah, I have a lot to say, and I don't think that there's any one soundbite that can really wrap it all up. So let's just get into some discussions.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I usually like to follow your lead. I don't know if you want to do Sonata winning the title.
Let's do that. You know what? It's
that.
perfect because that's the first thing that anyone said in chat was Alex Foster saying, I'm scared to say what I feel about Sonata winning. And Alex, I got to tell you, man, I have a controversial take of my own on the matter.
Then you go first, by all means, friend. I defer to you on this one.
I don't like that it took Muto retiring for him to win the goddamn title.
Yeah. I mean, you even said it right in live reactions. 4 years too late, but better late than never. I think that was a direct quote from you, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't like, and really to compound that, it feels like it's not even Sonata winning because of how great Sonata is. It feels like Sonata winning because New Japan was like, the Great Muta's retiring, let's capitalize on that by giving his most well-known student the title.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but just to contextualize, you feel like even when it's about Sonata, it's not really about Sonata. Like even when he wins, he's not really the focal point of his own story. It's more like an accessory to Muto retiring.
To me, this feels like Rey Mysterio winning the 06 Rumble after Eddie's death, but with Sonata and Muto.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that. You know, for me, it's funny. I have a similar reaction to Foster, although I might be a bit worse, which I want to say to Foster. I want to say this to everyone, because I know we've had to say this to Craig before in the Discord. Never be afraid to share a wrestling opinion here. So long as you're respectful of other people and you don't blatantly post misinformation when we get into like political talk or sociological talk or whatever. If you're a Charlotte fan, I mean, one of our favorite people, Ella, is a big Charlotte fan. She's still like posting about how proud she is of her queen and the match she had with Rhea at WrestleMania. We can't stand Charlotte. I would even say it borders on hatred at times. But we would never take that out on Ella, and we would never hold it against Ella because she's always respectful and keeps to herself like in a fun, innocent way. I never want anybody to be afraid to share their wrestling opinions. So you're always safe here, Alex and Craig, and anybody else who might feel like, oh, but the guys don't like so-and-so. Can I share this opinion? Of course you can. That being said, just wanted to put that out there. It's bittersweet for me because, and I don't want to make excuses because I am happy that Sonata's champion. But I got to be honest, man, for me, it kind of felt like too little too late. Like I already felt so beat up by New Japan with their prior booking that this is definitely a step in the right direction. But I'm like, and I don't know if Foster will be like, wow, John, that is bad. But like, I just feel like, I don't even know if this can make me really, like I've got the door open just a crack for you now. But I still like have got my hand on the knob just ready to just close it shut. It's I still feel pretty deflated with New Japan, but this is a step in the right direction. I'm curious.
It is. That's the thing. It's a step in the right direction for sure. I do think it's a step in the right direction, but it also like, you know how I am always talking about process over results.
Yes.
And what I think
absolutely.
a lot of people don't really seem to understand when I say that is that I'm not saying like It's about the journey, not the destination, man. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, no matter if something ends up being good or bad, was the reasoning that you arrived to get there good or bad? I care more about your reasoning than the conclusion you arrive at. It's like in a math class, I don't care as much about whether you get the right answer or not, so much as I care about the work and you showing your work and knowing how to do the math, even if maybe you make a calculating mistake on the way there. As long as you know the process, as long as you know how to do it, as long as you know, like I said, the reasoning, we're good. And Sonata winning the title was always supposed to be a sign that New Japan's booking was back on track. But now I can't even say that because in my mind, they didn't put the title on Sonata because it was like, okay, Sonata, he's this young stud. He's over with the crowd. It's time to pull the trigger. In my mind, it was, okay, the Great Muta retired. How do we capitalize on that? We have Sonata. Let's repackage him and put the title on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm still worried about you, New Japan. Like, I really,
Yeah,
am.
it's like New Japan is like, if you would have told me a year ago that Sonata is actually going to beat Okada clean in the middle of the ring after one finisher and win the world title in a year, I would have been so happy. But you would have also have to have left out that Great Muta will have just retired like a few months earlier.
Yeah, and bro, I gotta say too, and I do think this is my pessimism to be crystal clear, but I am thinking, how long is this reign even gonna last?
And
Because
that's my
look,
thing too, right? Because it's like, you know, we always talked about when we were watching Game of Thrones, the past may never repeat itself, but it does tend to echo itself, right?
yes,
And
yes,
Sonata wins the title from Okada at the early April pay-per-view. What happens at Dominion now? I think that's the real litmus test. What happens at Dominion now? Does Sonata just drop the title right back to Okada or to someone like an Osprey or worse, like a fucking David Finlay or someone along those lines at Dominion now? Because that's nightmare territory for me. That's like, I mean, we were dangling the hook in front of me, trying to think, trying to get me to bite it so you could reel me in, and now I've seen the hook for what it is, and I know that it's a hook, and I know that it's a trap, and I'm swimming the fuck away from it as fast as I can.
absolutely. Like, because here's my thing, dude. Watching the match, and it was a good match. Okada didn't hit his spinning tombstone. He didn't hit
He
a
didn't.
proper rainmaker.
No, he didn't.
He, and like I feel like that was to protect Okada. Why? So that they can run it back at Dominion, and Okada gets the win back. Like, honestly, that's just how I'm programmed now with New Japan. That was my first fucking thought.
And you know
I'm
what?
like, bro,
Javaris said in chat, am I the only one who thinks this has nothing to do with Muda? And like, I don't know how you can just think it has nothing to do with Muda. Muda has been in the news all year this year. We're only 3 months and like a week into 2023. And the first like 2.5 to 3 months of 2023 were dominated by Great Muta. Great Muta's retirement show, Great Muta's last show, Great Muta's retirement match, all that shit went down. It's been a big deal this year, and only after that happens does Sonata get repackaged, made the leader of a new faction, and wins the world title. Like, that's too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence to me.
yeah.
That feels like intentional design. That feels like Geto was like, oh, let's capitalize on all this Muta popularity with Sonata because Sonata is like his best known student.
Yeah, and like, dude, I've been having a side conversation with Foster in the chat, and I gotta say too, again, if I'm just being honest and looking at this a bit more critically, I'm a bit unenthused by the faction, man. Like, I like Taichi, and obviously I love Sonata, but like Kanemaru in there,
Yeah.
Doki in there,
And Taka is the
like
other one.
Taka's cool. But honestly, if you were going to give me Taka, I wish we got more time with Taka and ZSJ together. I've been saying recently that was my favorite era of Zack Sabre Jr. So it just feels like a WTF faction to me. I'm
I
like,
actually
why
have
are
a
you holding it
question,
together?
and I could be wrong on this. Has Sonata ever hit a Shining Wizard before?
I don't think he has. That popped me today. I will
Right,
say
but
that
like,
much.
think about that though. He hit a fucking Shining Wizard on his way to win the world title. Like, how is that not just straight up Muta? Thank you for this title win.
Yeah, yeah. And look, Javaris, nobody's saying that you can't have hope in the business. I mean, again, I'm tentatively leaving the and apparently he has, but see that's okay because you and I have been checked out in New Japan, so we can't be expected to know everything. But that's why I'm glad that there are
Okay,
people that have
so let me
more
rephrase
info.
that then. Did he ever hit a Shining Wizard before Muda retired? Let me put it that way.
Maybe. I mean, maybe, and maybe Javaris will double down and say, yeah, he has. But nobody's saying you can't have hope in the business. Hope is a good thing right now. It's in short freaking supply. And yeah, see, he did double down and say yes. But I guess my thing is I'm not just gonna give my hope away freely. And again, I'm not saying that like that's New Japan's fault. Well, actually, I guess I am because I'm just saying like all the past booking. It's just like it's gonna take me a while to be like, yeah, New Japan's on in a good groove because we'll see if he retains at Dominion. If Sonata already drops that shit at Dominion, then I'm
Dude,
gonna be
yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's my
okay.
thing. I think that, like, in order to really solidify, okay, Sonata is the champion because we want him to be champion and not just as a Muda tribute act, he needs to hold it through the G1 at least.
Yeah, honestly, I will agree with you there. And like I don't want to make it seem like I'm shifting the goalposts about what it's going to take for me to be in good graces New Japan again, or for New Japan to be in my good graces, more like. But yeah, I honestly, to circle back to the side conversation Foster and I have had, I'm also not really enthused about the faction. Like Kanemaru challenging Hiromu for the junior heavyweight title. I'm like, okay, okay. It doesn't seem like a cool faction to me. Honestly, it really seems kind of beneath Sonata's talent, to be quite honest with you. I was hoping he'd be surrounded by guys. Again, Taichi's the only one that I would retain, maybe shuffle it around a bit, but like, part of me is like, you left LIJ for this.
You
I
should have
don't
just
know.
never disbanded Suzuki-gun and shoved Sonata in there. Like,
Yeah, Sonata Gun, I mean, I would have gotten down with that.
it would have
I
been
would have
so much
absolutely.
cooler if, like, Sonata could hang out with Zack and Taichi and Suzuki and keep around guys like Kanemoto and Taka and also Despy. Despy and Sonata would be fun too.
Yeah, yeah. So again, it's a baby step in the right direction, but again, it's a single step. We still have a lot of walking to do, New Japan, and I want to see if you can do it, especially since you're already announcing G1 this far in advance. I know there are still some people hoping for Danielson. I don't know if I share that hope just because of how Tony Khan is, but again, we'll have to see. Um,
Oh god, I
so
love I
yeah.
love though that Alex Foster is in chat and he said, I would have loved if Sonata left Lij, but instead just was more of a lonely warrior.
Ah, I mean, yeah, I have to agree with Foster there,
That's
and
just that's just cause I need a lyric. I have to be a lonely warrior tonight.
yeah. Yeah. And I don't really blame Javaris either. Look, if it gives him hope, my goodness, my guy, cling on to that shit. Cause like again, it's in short supply. Um, so we know Mercedes is facing Mayu now, April
Yep.
23rd, gonna be a
I gotta be
freaking
real,
banger.
man. Again, this Mercedes run is just getting more and more disappointing by the day. It really is. Like, she, because like, I again, the match was great, but it was too short. Again, we're gonna end up. This run is gonna end. How long? Okay, so her match with Kairi was around 27 minutes. This is her
Right.
second match now, right?
Yes.
And it went about 13 minutes.
Ooh.
So if her match with Mayu is under 20 minutes, she will have spent under an hour in the ring this entire run.
That's wild. I do expect her and Mayu though to get a lot of time. Um, and credit for what it was. It was a short match, but I mean, it kept an amazing pace.
Yeah.
I thought all three women looked fantastic. But I get what you mean, though, man. Like I guess for me to circle back to the thread you did on Twitter, everybody should follow Ashton at Ashton_TwitWoW, and also me, I guess, if you want to, at John_TwitWoW. That I was really hoping Mercedes' presence would be a game changer for Stardom, not New Japan. And Stardom ain't going to see any of that business up until like the very end, and even then, that's pay per view. It's not going to be on Stardom World until like a few days later.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's
yeah,
kind of the thing that trips me up is that like Mercedes shows up on Wrestle Kingdom, so that's New Japan World, and then Battle in the Valley, so that's New Japan World, and then Sakura Genesis, so that's New Japan World, and then a pay-per-view that you have to spend $40 to see that's not actually live on Stardom World, and then she's gone. I mean, that's my thing. Like my hope beyond hope is that Meltzer just is either wrong, or that Mercedes just changes her mind and decides to sign on for more dates, or even better, signs a full-time contract to actually work Stardom, because she will have arrived on January 4th and worked for basically 3.5 months without ever having actually stepped into a Stardom ring. I guess technically she will have stepped into it the one time on the 23rd of this month, and that'll be the only time, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Oh man.
So I like my question then becomes like, is there any chance of her retaining? Because I feel like the only it's like her going into that match against Mayu, it really is just a matter of, if Mayu wins, Mercedes is probably just fucking gone. And I don't know where she goes next. Maybe she does a tour of TJPW to work with Miyu, because we know she wants to work with Miyu, and we know that she's friendly with the TJPW locker room. She'd probably want to work with Mizuki, Yuka, all those women. Or maybe she just goes elsewhere. I really don't know. It's like, it seems like she loves being in Japan. It seems like she wants to be there. It seems like that is like her sort of dream job, is being in Japan wrestling there. But every report that I've seen has said that literally the only actual wrestling matches that she has signed on to work are the 2 that she already has, and then the 423 show, Yokohama Budokan.
Yeah, I have to wonder if maybe she's gonna do like a Jericho model, like Jericho did earlier in his career, where she's gonna do these dates, then maybe take even like a year off, do more acting and stuff, then come back to wrestling. Personally, Javaris, just to engage you directly, because he said, "Okay, I have to ask, what do you think Mercedes' end goal is?" Because I do believe she will do Stardom straight up. I honestly, for whatever reason, I could see her in AEW at some point.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you that she loves Japan, but I don't know, man.
Well,
I
that's
get
the other thing
AEW
that I was
vibes
going
from
to
her.
say, too, is like, I talked about, like, if Mayu wins the title, Mercedes is probably just gone. But on the other side of that, if Mercedes manages to retain there, I look at that as a sign of good faith of like, okay, New Japan's keeping the title on her because they fully intend to have her work more shows. And at the very bare minimum, I would expect her to then work Forbidden Door as a representative from New Japan. Maybe we get Mercedes Jamie or something like that.
That would be cool. That would be fucking cool. Um, but yeah, I really wanted to see this be the time that Stardom takes it to another level, because I really feel like Mercedes would have kicked it into high gear for them.
Yep.
And really, I was hoping for a full-time, full calendar year deal for Mercedes, because I feel like they only really needed her for 1 year to get everything
Dude,
going, because that would have been enough to acquire, I think, a whole new base
dude,
of
my thing
fans. But
is,
yeah.
I think I would have just been happy if she would have been signed to like a Kairi contract where she works the bigger shows, but like all of them, and she doesn't have to have a fucking world title strapped around her waist in order for her to work the bigger shows.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been so nice. Yeah, look, she's going to do what she wants and she's making her money, and I'm happy for her. But as somebody that was like, man, that's such a great get for Stardom,
Yeah.
because you and I have wanted to see Stardom grow, I've got to be honest, it's definitely been disappointing. Um, so do we. Okay, let me just ask, man. Let's just rip the fucking band-aid off. Do we talk about Vince or not? What are we doing about Vince here? And what are we
It
doing about
seems
that?
like, yeah, I mean, it seems like he's not actually like fully back in control the way that he was before last summer. But it does seem like he is going to take that level of control for the bigger shows. So for the Raw after Mania, for example, he was obviously doing that, and it was a fucking disaster. So here's to hoping that some lesson was learned by somebody that has some modicum of power, and that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I see. It's actually become more interesting to me now, because before it would have been so easy to be like, "Oh, Vince is back in control. Triple H answers to him." Blah blah blah. Then on SmackDown last night, you've got people pointing out like, "Oh, Michael Cole and Triple H came out." She's like, he said, "Oh, there's the man that runs this place," and just almost kind of like hinting at like, yeah, Triple H is still in control. But to me, it's interesting in one of two ways. Either Vince is back in control more than we realize, and it's really freaking bad because toxic culture, bad booking, all that stuff. I did a tweet about it that blew up, and I just want to say, too, as an aside, because this is our platform, people that defend Vince and really people that defend billionaires in general, I'm praying for you. You really like, wow, wow. I don't know anybody or why anybody would unironically defend Vince or billionaires or any of that. They do not give a shit about you. They are sociopaths. They will do whatever they can for power in their own ends. That's one. On the other hand, though, if Triple H does still have the control that he always has, because people wanted to pin WrestleMania Night 2 on Vince and say, like, oh, his fingerprints were all over it. I think that's a different kind of discussion too, because people need to understand that Triple H isn't perfect. And how do we hold Vince accountable? Or how do we hold? Oh God, I wish somebody would hold Vince accountable. How do we hold Triple H accountable creatively when he misfires? When the cover of Vince is now seemingly always going to be there because people have it implanted in their minds that he is back when he may not be in this context. Yeah, like. So I think it's a problem either way. Personally, like obviously one problem is much bigger than the other. Don't get it twisted, anybody. But I also don't want to completely insulate Triple H either. I feel like that's also kind of toxic in its own way. So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you feel like Vince's fingerprints were on Mania Night too? Because I was seeing that a lot from people, and I'm like, well, we reacted to mostly the whole thing, save the main event.
Oh my god. It is one. I tell you what, right now, one of my least favorite sort of internet wrestling community or internet wrestling fan, I guess, tropes is basically this phenomenon of I didn't like the show, therefore somebody who I don't like must have booked it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
This has been going on for so long now, and I really started noticing it during that whole like Road Dogg is writing SmackDown now era.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. And then I love that like people were starting to blame him for shit that he had nothing to do with. Like that's the kind of shit that we're getting now. Like it wouldn't surprise me at all if Vince had literally nothing to do with anything that happened at WrestleMania, or at least very minimal to do with what happened at WrestleMania. And then people are just like, oh, well, he was back in control at Raw, so obviously that means he was back in control at WrestleMania, which explains why I didn't like it. Humph.
Yeah. That sound effect. Yeah, I mean, look, in one way, it's understandable because he is Vince, and if he can't have the whole pie, he's never just going to settle for a piece. And so I get why people would want to jump to that conclusion. We need to be careful, though. Like, I do feel like he is definitely back in some capacity, obviously, because he sanctioned the sale and everything else. I don't think he should be back in any capacity. Like I said in the one tweet I had about it that blew up, he should be in a jail cell to me. Like, this dude he's obviously caused a lot of harm. He's obviously definitely ruined a lot of lives to me, and he's just a piece of shit. But yeah, like I don't think Triple H is perfect either. I think he's gonna misfire, and if whether the Raw was Vince or whether it was Triple H, it just goes to show that a lot of people weren't buying what they were selling or peddling that night, because goddamn Cage Match roasted that Raw into the ground. So yeah, I really don't know what else to say about the Vince situation other than I hope we get to hear more about it, any internal developments or anything. But I'm just gonna treat this like he is back, but Triple H is still kind of like running things for the most part. And just see where WWE goes. I didn't think WrestleMania was bad. I'm glad we didn't live react post WrestleMania Raw. And I will say, to kind of segue into the next big topic, I'm very much excited for the draft in a few weeks. We are going to officially do a draft preview, right? Like our own fantasy draft. We agreed on
Yes,
that.
I do fully intend on us doing a fantasy mock WWE draft, probably like the Friday or Saturday before the Monday that the draft starts, or if the draft starts on a Friday, then it would be like the day before, like the Thursday before.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
what the dates are for the draft though, because all he said was in a few weeks, so we don't actually have like set dates for the draft.
Yeah, we don't have set dates for the draft, just to answer Foster's question and just to reiterate to everybody. So I only wanted to confirm what we were doing because obviously I don't think we would want to get into any speculation about what we would want to see happen because I feel like we would just want to save that maybe for our fantasy draft. But I will say that I am excited about it, and I think a lot of superstars on that roster could use a reset. So I feel like a draft is coming at a good time. Do you have anything you want to say that you wouldn't just want to say for the fantasy video that we're going to do?
As far as the draft goes,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think my main thing is I really just hope that once the draft happens, we go back to the hard brand split again.
Yes. Yes. I remember saying that even in the Discord. I
Yeah.
100% agree with you there.
I don't have to project anything to actually happen in the draft because all I really care about is that the draft is actually fucking abided by.
I was saying this in chat, but I'll say this here too. They are Foster. All three brands in my mind are included. Because Triple H said it would be like a huge draft and it would change the game. So I'm taking that to mean NXT is 100% included in the draft. Now, if that means included both ways, in the sense of they're part of the draft pool and they also get to draft from the pool of Raw and SmackDown, that's also very interesting because I'm wondering what undercarders from Raw and SmackDown could use that reset. Um, for better or worse. So, yeah, I could see the draft being very intriguing. I hope we get a lot of picks too. Like, I don't just want it to be like, oh, we're only doing a set number of picks and then, it's over. I know they also like to save like really undercard picks for like after the show that they post on like Twitter or WWE.com or whatever. Um, Mark, I fucking wish, my friend. Um, Foster said Bloodline versus Chase U confirmed. Unironically, I wouldn't be totally opposed to that. You just have to build it up right. But yeah, draft is coming. We'll have a fantasy draft video. I'd love to talk about it, but again, I think fantasy draft will get all of our discussion about the actual draft in there as well. So I think with all that extraneous stuff, God, I'd love to talk about Stardom with you, but we still haven't been able to watch that press conference. That's when I want to talk about Stardom, is when we're able to
You know
watch that
what?
press
I
conference.
mean, we already got spoiled on it last night and during game night. Do we want to talk about Jesse Elaban joining Club Venus?
I'm excited for her, man. I'm
Yeah.
excited for Club Venas.
Dude, how do
It's
these Club Venus members keep getting bigger and bigger and taller and taller?
I know. It's like Mina had a vision and she's executed it perfectly, my guy. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
She's God, it's funny because like when we American boys think about exotic women, we think of like Brazilians and even maybe even some would think about Japanese women. But when Mina thinks about exotic women, she thinks about these big, tall American and Australian women, and British women too.
Bro, you know what I love about Club Venas as opposed to like a fucking Bullet Club is that it is like a gaijin faction for the most part, but like I know this is a really weird term to use, but there's like a sincerity to it that I feel like Bullet Club, because Bullet Club has been healed for so long. And like Club Venus is just coming in and being like, well, we're not necessarily heels. You can cheer for us if you want. We're just really freaking good at what we do. And we just want to expand our greatness and our talents to the rest of the wrestling world. And I love it. I'm telling you, I'm really getting smitten with this faction, y'all.
Yeah.
Um, like,
Oh yeah, Alex
don't be
Foster's 100% right too. Uh, was it me? I think it was Mariah actually asked Trinity Fatu to join Club Venus and talk about how she'd kill the dance, and Naomi literally said yes. When can we
and
do
here's
this? And I was like, we're actually, she didn't say when can we do this. I was thinking, when the fuck is this going to happen? We need it sooner than later.
Dude, they get Trinity. I don't even care if they would go winless the rest of the fucking year. They're my faction of the year.
Yes.
Because anybody that would bring Trinity back into wrestling, and
Yeah.
Japan no less.
Oh,
I love you, Queen's Quest, but nah, like Club Venus got it locked down. I love them.
bro,
I love them
if
so
we
much.
get Trinity in Club Venus early enough in the year that she can work the 5-star.
Oh, yes, yes, perfect reaction. And I just love the bonding that I get to do with Abel over Club Venus. It's a faction that brings families together.
It
I'm
does.
sorry.
It
Yeah.
truly does.
Does Oedo Tai bring families together? No, it tears them apart. Fuck you, Momo Watanabe. It's not even a Stardom commentary, and I got it in. Eat my shit. So, so, yeah, I really can't wait for Dana's translations of the press conference. But you're right, we do know about the big stuff. By the way, follow Dana if you want the best English translations for Joshi Wrestling, especially Stardom, at It's Dana Now. Big plug for her there. Cam and Julia are creating art together, and I'm very, very happy about it.
Did you see the picture of Tam?
I did. You mean with what Javaris has called her third eye?
Yeah. Well, she called it her third eye herself. That's what the tweet said. She said that my third eye is about to open or something like that.
Well, here's the thing about that, because if you don't mind me kind of saying this here, the thing about a third eye is they talk about enlightenment, seeing things you couldn't see before. But the problem with that is that Tamantha's a psychopath. So whatever she's going to see with that third eye probably isn't good for the rest of us. Javaris showed me the picture. We had a separate conversation in the Discord, and Javaris could vouch for me here. I said, look at her fucking eyes, bro. She's gone. And then I said in a follow-up message, this woman will kill Julia to be the world champion. She will do murder in that ring and then cover the corpse for a 3 count.
Honestly, this is purely a semantic thing. I don't want you to think I'm correcting you. I'm not. But, like, I don't think it's so much that she would kill Julia because she wants to be champion. I think she would kill Julia to stop Julia from being champion.
I mean, yeah. Honestly,
she
this
just
isn't
can't
even going to
handle Julia having this success right now.
Dude, honestly, I am going to fight you on this. Because, like, first of all, it'd be pointless even if I did feel like I could stand my ground. But second of all, I mean, you're right. Like, this woman's fucking
Did you
deranged.
see Mercedes actually reacted to the picture of Tam's third eye?
Yeah. Said, oh my God. Yeah,
Mercedes.
Face. I think we know now why you're not working Stardom like we wanted you to. Because you're like, but I make money with this. No. Tam is fucking gone, y'all. To say she needs therapy is grossly underselling the problem. Like,
well, I mean, to be fair, both she and Julia could really use a few trips.
Okay. Not wrong, but let's not even act like the scales are balanced, okay? Because there's therapy, and then she gets her own room, we stick her in the corner, we don't ask questions. But I will say, on a more serious note, being completely sincere,
dude,
I watched
fucking softball-sized lump on her forehead.
Dude, no, you know what? I was gonna say something, but that might even be offensive, so hard pass. But no, Julia whooped that ass, bro. And like, I finally watched that My Way video today. Amazing.
Yes, like, dude, is.
They've achieved that level. They've achieved that level where it didn't feel cringe or contrived. Like, I'm like, holy shit, this feud has been that epic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm about to out myself here as a massive nerd to show you guys how much I really always want to give my best on commentary. I was even like doing play-by-play unconsciously as that video was ending, just thinking like, biggest Stardom world title match in this company's history. And like, it is. This match on April 23rd, I will say, is the biggest World of Stardom championship match. At the very least, in case people would accuse me of hyperbole, and I guess that's fair, it's the biggest title match in my mind of our history. I do not remember a world title match this fucking big the way this one feels. I mean, Julia at a press conference bloodied Tamantha. And again, I reiterate too what I said in the Discord back then. The idea that blood made me pop, I almost had tears in my eyes because I thought Moxley had taken that from me. I thought AEW in general had taken that from me. But I'm seeing the blood on Tamantha, and I'm like, holy fucking shit. We're in it now. Like, we're in it now. Like, Tam and Julia have crossed the Rubicon. There's no coming back from this. This is insane. This is like, dude, it's April, and I am telling you right now, because you know I always keep it 100 with you, and I know sometimes you and I look at wrestling in very different ways. That's why I love us. This is already my feud of the year, and Bloodline is still doing great fucking stuff. But Tam and Julia, man, Christ. I don't know, man. I mean, you got any more thoughts? You saw the press conference images. You shared them with all of us. Yeah. You knew about it before I did.
I mean, dude, here's the thing. Did the press conference happen this week? It had to have, right?
It had to have. I just went on Dana's site. It's still not up, and I'm itching for it so bad, bro. I'm itching for it so bad. I'm like,
most anticipated press conference translations in Joshi wrestling history.
May very well be. May very well be, because goddamn.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's funny because all of that happened, but then, like, even, like, before that, there was, like, fucking Mina dripping black goo onto Kamitani's face, and then, like, earlier on in the night, we got the reveal that Meiho Shizuki is back in pro wrestling, and maybe even signed a full-blown Bushiroad deal, and is just in the company now, like... and now goes by, I think it's Seda May, I want to say,
Yeah.
is her new name. Like, oh, there's so much happening. It's and it's just on that one press conference. It's wild.
Yeah. Dude, I will tell you what. The Cinderella tournament opening round was bizarre. And to be honest, I'm starting to get back into the Cinderella tournament too because I'm really liking the idea of Waka potentially challenging Kamitani. I'm somewhat warming up again to Mirai and Kamitani running it back, but to me, honestly, I'm all in on Waka winning right now. So we'll see how that goes. Um, Stardom's still cooking though. I gotta tell you, like Stardom is still fucking cooking. I cannot wait for this April 23rd show. This is gonna be absolutely goddamn insane. Um, God, beyond that, I do have a rant in me today,
Oh.
but I'm feeling so good. I don't want to leave the good time, but the rant's about AEW. I know it's still gonna be a bit before we get
Oh,
there.
okay.
God, AEW. Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
can't wait to hear the rant.
Oh God, I can.
Is it
Uh,
Bryan Danielson related?
no, I actually, God, I almost want to get into it now since you asked. I watched a lot of AEW clips because I will never question my love for you because I never want to leave you alone to talk about it. I'm
Thanks,
like,
bud. You're the
no,
best.
there's a dick, and then there's just being a piece of shit. And I'm gonna be honest, leaving your friend to watch AEW and not going in those trenches with him, you might be a piece of shit. Cause this company is ass water. Not even ass. The water that comes
Water.
out of the ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
the stuff
When
that
you
causes skin marks in grown men's underwear. Oh.
No, when you're really preparing for that colonoscopy and your stools become pure liquid, that's what this fucking company is. And I speak from experience because I've had a colonoscopy because I'm a hypochondriac. I'm 30 going on 80, actually 31 going on 86. Fuck you. So, this fucking company. Oh my god. I just okay, I'm gonna start with the point blank thing again. I fucking hate this company. Literally, dude, the only good things in this company from the clips that I watched, Jamie Hayter, Riho, Brian Danielson. From the clips I watched, there's obviously more than
Yeah,
that.
Jamie and Rio had a really fun women's championship match this week. I saw that.
The most fun segment I fucking watched. FTR had their careers on the line and they win the tag titles with a fucking roll up. No climactic finish.
Oh God!
No,
Wait, I thought Tony Khan bought ROH, not the other way around.
dude. I saw that because here's the thing too. Let me just be clear about something. I'm okay with matches ending in roll-ups, unironically. Especially if they're like really cool pins, like flash pins, like Osmi Sushi or Glamorous Collection, whatever. Dude, the roll-up that got the pin, it even took him a second to get it right. It looked to me, it looked bad.
Oh,
I don't
dude,
know if I'm being
I feel
hyperbolic here
like
for
that
people.
is one of the biggest issues that has plagued the sort of black and gold era NXT generation of performers is that they want to do these video game wrestling style sequences, but they do it at 0.25 times speed.
Yes.
They
Yes.
want to do the Ricochet Osprey crazy shit and the Omega shit, but they're they've got dad bods and they can't quite do it as fast.
And I don't hate FTR, but come on, guys. You're better than that. And maybe it's on the Gun Club, and I have nothing nice to say about them, so maybe just fucked FTR over
I mean,
and made them look like shit.
maybe it would be great if you didn't put fucking incompetent nepo babies with your world championships and have to depend on them to put over your big guys that you're trying to build up as the next top baby faces in the tag division.
Yeah, I mean, what he said. And the idea that that should finish when these guys' careers were on the line, it was supposed to be a big babyface moment. I'm sorry, I didn't feel any. Now, granted, maybe I would have if I keep up with the product, so it is also partially on me. But with that kind of finish, even if I did, I would have been like, oh, so that's it. That's a lot of high drama. That's a lot of high stakes. You get MJF in Long Island. It's MJF, and then Jungle Boy attacks him, and I'm sorry, but I know people are critical of MJF. I've certainly become more critical, even though he did just break 5, which really isn't an accomplishment in AEW. I want to make that clear too. Because that AEW Fave 5, I even, like, honestly, if I was really being truthful and petty, Stokely Hathaway probably would have been number 1. But I still want to be sensible and I still want to be fair. But fuck this company. Jungle Boy taking him down, I'm sorry, I have to laugh.
Dude, oh
What the
my
fuck?
god, Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy is the fucking fetch of AEW. They really, really want to make him happen, but he's never gonna happen until he learns how to goddamn promo.
You know, and then the big thing I fucking hated, even though I watched more than this, I did watch, because again, also watched Jamie Hayter and Riho, and they killed it. Sammy Guevara. This fucking dude.
You know that face.
I hate it more than Osprey. I said it in the Discord. I'll say it here for posterity. I hate that face more than Osprey's now. Honestly. The smugness, the entitlement, the I'm absolutely the victim and the hero of this fucking story, this fucking man child. I noticed something too on offense. This guy must be like a Rick and Morty mark, and he must have loved the Scary Terry episode, because he was saying bitch a lot when he was setting up offense. Oh, it's my time now, bitch. Next world
It's
champion.
my
It's
time
like,
now, bitch.
I'm like, I'm gonna be very candid with people, and you know that I'm like past my breaking point when I'm willing to get this candid to make a point. I'm very disabled. My legs are a half-empty toothpaste. I'm very self-aware. It's bad when a guy like me, when the only thing I have going for me is a relatively impressive upper body with no strength to go with it, purely aesthetic, can look at Sammy Guevara and be like, who the fuck you flexing on? Like, what chest are you even puffing out, my guy? Like, what even is this? What even is this that you're posturing like, I'm going to be the next world champion. Nobody can touch me in this ring. What, you mean nobody can touch you being an utter fucking spot monkey? Nobody can touch you being able to drop an expletive, and you're fucking, yeah, you're so impressive. And his promos, it's like, God, his voice is so grating. And like, he's a heel, but he almost has a Charlotte problem, dude, because he's a heel, but he tries to cut a babyface promo because he's like, oh, I
Dude,
love AEW. I met my wife here. I did all this stuff here. And it's like, what even fucking are
bro.
you, dude?
I gotta tell you, man, we call it a Charlotte problem because, like, it's weird because Charlotte's whole problem started in NXT when she was supposed to be a face, and the crowd started doing a chant, and she would like shut it down like a heel would.
Yeah.
But like, the first time that I think we really saw, I mean, really, it's just pulling a Triple H, right? That's where like the origin that we can trace it back to, right?
Yeah.
Is like the heel that panders and like tries to be funny and cool and like charismatic. But like most recently, it's pulling a Cody. It's literally the shit. It's Cody. It's like wanting to have your cake and eat it too. I want to be the cool, badass heel so that people will like me, but I also want to be the pandering babyface so they'll buy my merch too.
I was a heel by not turning heel. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude.
It's literally wanting to have your cake and eat it too. Like, that's not how the wrestling business works. This whole concept of, oh, there's no such thing as faces and heels anymore. That's antiquated. No, it's not. Fuck you.
Yeah.
People, like, obviously, yeah, people are going to choose who they cheer for and who they boo or whatever. But if you're actually good, that's what it is. Anyone that says that faces and heels are a thing of the past are just not good enough to get the reaction that they actually desire from the crowd.
Oh, dude, 100.
Because
100%.
really good heels will get booed no matter what. Roman Reigns? Are you kidding me? This dude maybe initially will get cheered by the crowd. He'll do his acknowledge me thing and they'll pop for it. By 2/3 of the way into any Roman Reigns match, the crowd is entirely on the side of whoever the fuck he's facing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
100%.
he's a damn good heel.
He is. He is. 100%. And hearing Sammy talk, like, dude. And again, I know I'm going hard, and I'm sure maybe there are even AEW defenders that would adequately defend this product because they're more plugged into it than I am. I concede that point wholeheartedly. This company to me though has an image problem. These are your four pillars. These fucking
Dude,
guys.
and
Like,
can we also just address the elephant in the room that, I mean, it's awfully light skinned in here.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, even if you want to get right
Fuck.
down to the nitty gritty and say, like, Jewish people aren't white and Latino, Sammy Guevara's a Latino, still, it's really fucking light skinned in here, regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck me. I gotta say too, man. Jay White. Let's talk about Jay White now. I'm glad he didn't go to WWE because now, even if, like, again, Triple H is in as much control as he was yesterday, I think that company has now suffered a perception problem because everybody en masse believes that Vince is in more control than he
Bro,
might actually be.
Bro, we've reached
Um,
this weird place in pro wrestling where, like, there are these absolutely incredible talents who literally just don't have anywhere to go that will recognize their talent.
yeah, yeah, dude. I
Literally
mean,
just
you could,
nowhere.
yeah.
At least nowhere, like, worth their fucking time. Like, you're not going to send Jay White to fucking Impact and have him be the king of the shitters, king of the trailer park.
Oh my god. I mean, dude, you pretty much succinctly said what I was gearing up to say because Jay comes out to do the whole, be a part of the whole Ricky Starks juice angle,
Right.
and I'm like, man, pro wrestling as an industry did
Well,
Jay White so dirty, man.
that's the thing,
Like,
right? Like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Jay White versus Ricky Starks or Jay White versus Johnny Gargano? Neither one of them fucking matter one bit in the long run. So that's your choice. It's mid Carter versus mid Carter. Do you want Jay White to go be a mid Carter in this company, or do you want him to go be a mid Carter in that company, or do you want him to go back to New Japan and basically be, Okada's bitch forever?
and that's why I say that pro wrestling did him so fucking dirty because on the one hand, I do credit New Japan with how they built Jay up and really to me made him look like a main event talent. And obviously Jay did his part because he really
Bro,
tightened up stuff on his end. But
we
like,
need a new wrestling company.
do we? Because I feel like it'd just be another repeat of this fucking problem. I even heard some people say that they want Oscar to start a company. That would get me out of bed. I know we're all
Is
excited
there a
about.
reason why people are saying that specifically? Like, has she
I
implied that
don't.
she
I think
wants
people
to,
are.
or is it just people pulling shit out of their asses?
I think it's people pulling shit out of their asses personally, but I
Dude,
just found it funny.
I'm sorry, but like, we're talking about this with Jay White, but like, there are so many dudes and so many women too, so many people that we can talk about this with. Where's Andrade? Where is Miro? Like,
Yeah.
why are we not doing anything with Keith Lee? Why is Keith Lee fucking tagging with, who's he tagging with now? It was Goldust for a while. Who is it now?
I have no idea. I didn't even know he switched tag partners because I was still stuck on Dustin Rhodes. Apparently, he's going to be feuding with Jericho soon, though. Possibly.
Is anyone
Which that's
excited
great for
about
Keith.
that?
No.
Like, that's
No.
what I'm like. There. God, AEW really fucked the wrestling industry up bad
Yeah, and
because
Foster
they just
actually took the
hired
words out of my.
so
Yeah.
many. Like, there's so many people getting a paycheck from AEW, which is cool, but like, maybe 35% of them are actually being used at most.
And Foster took the words out of my mouth because we were talking about wrestling promotions. I'm like, I know we're all at least curious about Freddie Prinze Jr.'s promotion, whenever the hell
Yeah,
that's
that would
supposed
be
to launch.
great. Yeah, but of course now Jay White just signed a contract, and like Keith Lee's under contract. Like, it's all these AEW guys that just aren't getting used, and they're gonna let go. They're gonna be let go of their AEW contracts, and then they're probably gonna just jump right over to WWE straight away under Triple H. Hopefully, maybe unless Vince really is taking it. Like, it's absolutely horrible right now. It's a hellhole. It's the worst it's
Oh
been
my god,
in a
yeah,
long time.
yeah, dude. Because yeah, I mean, just to kind of wrap up my initial thought, I agree with everything you said. Like Jay comes out and he does the whole thing, and I'm like, he doesn't even feel special. Like he just feels like a
No.
guy. Like,
Yeah, well, no, dude, like, that's the AEW special, right?
yeah,
AEW hires so many special talents and then proceeds to make them feel not special anymore.
it's so fun. I had such high hopes for Jay White, and that's not an indictment of Jay White because he's still doing all of his shit right. But like, God, the industry did him so goddamn dirty. Um, what else made me
I'm so
apathetic?
depressed right now.
House of Black. That's another thing that I wish I
They're
cared
cool.
more about because they look cool and they're trios champs, but I'm like,
Is one of them is going to be challenging Orange Cassidy for the international championship, but I don't know which one. Probably Buddy.
that I think it is, buddy. I think I saw something about that, dude. I think it is partially a me problem though, because you said that you're feeling so depressed. Like I've been carrying that depression with most wrestling, where I'm like, even though I like you guys, I don't care. I don't care because I don't believe in the company that you're doing this for and doing this with.
Dude, I've been
It's
saying
really bad.
literally since that first big round of WWE cuts in like what was it, like October or November of 2021, when we just basically said fuck this, we're done.
Yeah,
That involved like I think that was when they cut BFAB, and I think that might have been Keith Lee or something like that. Like it was a brutal run. It was a brutal round of cuts. And we just said, okay, we're done with this company. Fuck it. As far as like covering every single pay per view goes, and now we're kind
yeah.
of back to doing that because of the Bloodline storyline. But regardless, anyway, so like ever since then, I've been saying like some company needs to spring up that is like really aware of the political moment that we're in right now. They need to push the shit out of their women's division. They need to push the shit out of their darker skinned performers. They need to basically provide an actual alternative and not just the whiter alternative to WWE that AEW is.
Yeah.
AEW is literally just whiter WWE with more blood. That's AEW. Dun, 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 dun. There you fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty fucking much, man. Jesus Christ.
Do you like WWE, but it's not white enough for you? Come to AEW, where you can also get a side of people bleeding.
Yeah, honestly, I feel a great sense of solidarity with Javaris because I thought I went a little too depressing there with the comment I just made, but he even said, like, I never thought I wouldn't care about Keith Lee. Thanks a lot, Tony. That's what just the climate of pro wrestling currently has done to me and all my faves for the most part. Thank good. Like, again, that's why with Stardom, even when the quality is a bit questionable, like the opening round of the Cinderella tournament, I'll be honest, I still enjoy it more than even when AEW and WWE actually try. Sometimes they hit it out of the park, but God, it's just so fucking rare. Like I enjoyed WrestleMania, and I'm hoping that the draft is good. I really am. I think a lot's riding on this draft personally because I think a lot of people need to reset. AEW though, I wouldn't even really know where to even begin with that shit. I mean,
Dude,
well,
AEW needs to trim their roster down by like a third.
yeah, definitely.
And a huge majority of that third needs to be white men.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Foster, can I just say, first of all, Javaris, I love you. You know I always got you. Fucking always, because nobody deserves to be in wrestling hell. Nobody. Second of all, Foster, you deserve to have something you're glad about, like we are with Stardom. Because seriously, dude, I don't know if the pro wrestling culture has ever been worse. I don't want to commit hyperbole on here, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if it's ever felt more suffocating. Like I even tried to watch Impact, as you guys know. Nah, nah. Like, yeah, there needs to be a hard reboot or something seismic needs to happen in pro wrestling because it's in the fucking mud for the most part.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Like
I don't.
it's the biggest like I feel like the most interesting thing about AEW, the thing that makes AEW feel the most different from WWE is how heavily they feature Japanese stars. And yet like I don't really know if Takeshita and Riho is enough to say that, given that WWE has Nakamura and Asuka and Io now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
Br-
AEW, y'all were supposed to be in this partnership with DDT and TJPW, and you have taken so little advantage of it that WWE might actually feature Japanese people better than you by now. What the fuck?
yeah. I mean, what the fuck is going on? Um, dude, I gotta tell you too. You know what else pissed me off before we got on here today? I saw a clip today. I thought I was gonna miss it because I thought I watched enough AEW Dynamite clips to at least hold enough conversations with you. Because again,
Yeah,
I will never leave you alone with that shit.
I appreciate that wholeheartedly.
But again, I saw something today that I'm like I could have done with missing that completely. Um,
Is this the Anna J. Julia Hart shit?
no, thank God. Thank God, no. I don't know if it's that bad, but I'm still pretty pissed.
Are you-
Fucking Matt Hardy turning on the firm or whatever the fuck, hitting Ethan Page with the FTW title and helping Hook beat Ethan Page. Which, what pissed me off about that is one, why the fuck should I care about Matt Hardy in 2023? Two, we're really gonna start doing this with Hook's matches now. This
Oh,
dude should be a
yeah.
fucking killer.
That's what I was gonna
Like,
say. That was my main thing. Was like, why the fuck does Hook need help to beat Ethan fucking
yes,
Page? Like,
yes,
dude, when I said that AEW needs to cut like a third of its roster and should be mostly white men, Ethan Page is 100% gone if I'm in charge of that.
dude. I
Ethan
watched
Page
that.
gone. Preston Vance gone. John Silver gone. Alex Reynolds gone. I could go on if I had the roster in front of me. Those are just the 4 dudes that come to mind. Whoever that fucking Cole Carter dude is, fucking gone. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I watched that clip at least 3 times and I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Why?
I'm like, why did Matt Hardy turn? Where the fuck did this come from? Why does Hook now suddenly need help? Like, because I was
to
excited
beat Ethan Page of all
Ethan
people.
motherfucking sponsored by Wonder Bread since its inception Page. Why?
Oh my
I
god.
want to, I just, folks, what else is there to say? Like, I saw it. And God, the idea that you even had to take a guess.
Oh yeah.
At
Thank
what
you,
the
Javaris.
shittiness
Action Andretti, yeah, for sure, gone. Get the fuck out. And the thing is, I don't think Action Andretti's even white. He just never should have been here in the first place.
Yeah.
Peter Avalon, gone, for sure. Brandon Cutler, gone. Easy.
Like, this is the shit we're prioritizing. Look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. You guys know I'm so checked out. I haven't even checked out AR Fox's stuff, but I'm still happy my man's getting a fucking paycheck and getting at least on some kind of bigger platform.
Javar said Big Bill, motherfucking super gone. And I was like, nah, he can stay. At least Big Bill brings something different to the table in the sense that he's actually big and has a great look. Like, okay, that's something we can work with. There's something unique about you. Let's keep you around and see what we can do with that. All these other dudes are generic as fuck.
Yeah, dude, when you say like has a light skin problem and just, I mean, let's call it what it is. Well, not even necessarily a racial problem, but yeah, like the aesthetics, because it's like,
should we call it a colorism problem?
Yeah, I think that works. A colorism problem. Matt Hardy gets fucking character development in a storyline.
Oh yeah, Matt Hardy, fuck you, get the fuck out. I don't give a shit how popular you were for like 6 months in TNA that one time, and then another 6 months in WWE that one other time. You're irrelevant. You're like 50 years old, bro. Leave.
Give it up. The idea that Fox doesn't have any kind of mid-card storyline going on, and Matt Hardy gets a fucking character shift, or I guess an alignment shift, and a fucking potential storyline, because now Ethan Page is going to get on the microphone and he's going to be really yelly about it, and he's going to want to do a match with Matt Hardy. I fucking hate this company. I hate it so much. But tell me, because I have to ask, I hope they are listening. Get good, you fucking shit sacks.
No, to me, it's not even about get good, because like we're not talking about wrestlers that are bad wrestlers. That's the thing. That's what I need to emphasize over and over again. I'm not cutting these guys because they're bad wrestlers. I'm cutting them because them being good wrestlers is the only thing about them that's anywhere remotely close to interesting.
Okay, that's a fair counterpoint, but I will still double down on that. Like, yeah, because there's more to pro wrestling than the in-ring part.
Yeah.
And these are some lackluster motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, god damn. So, not get good, get a personality. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, get interesting.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for you, or I guess fortunately in the case of Big Bill, being big can be interesting by itself in pro wrestling.
Himeka did it better. But no, in all seriousness, I have to ask, did you see Anna Jay versus Julia Hart? Because I didn't, but if you asked about it, I'm assuming you did.
Did I see the match? No, because I am a conscious human being who was aware that it was happening and chose to tune it the fuck out. But
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I didn't see the pre-match promos.
I was just about to congratulate you for crossing the threshold of self-respect, and you still saw the pre-match promos.
No, yeah, this is the whole thing with Anna Jay talking to. She was like, what did she say? She said, "I got a fat ass and a bad attitude, and I'm gonna put you to sleep, you spooky bitch." That
Clearly
hurt
went to
to
the
say,
school.
bro. It hurt to say.
Clearly went to the school of Brandy Rhodes promo cutting.
Julia, dude, I like Julia Hart as a talent. She's actually fucking good at what she does. She's good at playing this character. She's got a little bit of like Chelsea Green going on in there with the character portrayal thing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I even seeing Julia with House of Black after their trios title defense against Best Friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, she really looks the part.
Yeah.
Happy for her.
It's not her fault that Tony Khan decided to take for fucking ever to actually just pull the trigger on putting her with the group.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of slow spreading infections, but that's just ridiculous. God, is there any, of course, we have to talk about Danielson. The guy that fucking gets taken advantage of by AEW.
Chicken
Jesus
shit
Christ.
in the chicken salad.
I like the promo.
I know.
It had the eco warrior vibes that he was doing in WWE.
Well, yeah, I mean, he literally said impotent multiple times. He's just copying himself at this point.
Yeah, literally the exact same cadence with amateurs. Amateurs.
But dude, here's the thing, though. Again, I have to bring it back to, if that was the plan all along, they wouldn't have backed down to Hangman Page with a spiky 2x4.
Yeah.
So this is clearly a change of direction. Tony Khan was like, oh no, people hate it, I need to change it, and adapt it on the fly. So like, congrats to Tony Khan for being willing to change your mind on something that you thought you got right the first time. I'm proud of you for that. Vince wouldn't. Vince would never. But like, again, process over results. We saw what you thought was a good idea in the first place.
You know, I gotta say this too. I have no problem with BCC being.
Javaris,
Yeah.
he called Tony Khan a fuck knuckle.
Yeah. I have no problem with BCC being a heel faction, but you couldn't just let them be really, really good wrestlers.
Dude, yeah, like they're gonna be a heel faction too. They're badass heels, not chicken shit heels. That's the problem I had in the first place.
Exactly. Because that's how I feel like they started. I didn't really look at them as a face group when they started.
No.
I looked at them as like, man, y'all kind of suck. Thank God we're here. And like, yeah honestly, you know,
word.
The idea that it's like they're trying to get back to that, but oh no, he's got a weapon. Get out. Get out. All of you out. Danielson, you could stay. Get out. But then even Danielson, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna take this screwdriver and I'm gonna gouge you in your face holes, and the camera's gonna look awkward.
That was dumb. It really was. That was fucking dumb. Since when has Bryan fucking Danielson ever given a shit about maiming somebody?
Is this late stage WCW? What the fuck is happening? He cut a good promo. We knew he would. Because that's the thing, Tony. You on some level actually know what you have. You just use it for the worst fucking purposes. It's like if somebody had a quantum computer and they were like, oh my God, I can upload 1 trillion memes at once. Like, how are you this bad? You know, somebody called me out recently on Twitter, and I appreciated it. This is totally unironic. I'm not about to use this pulpit to like whatever, because they said that I contradicted myself, because I said something about I was happy that Jay White didn't go with Vince, because if Vince really is back in that kind of control, that like that kind of get shouldn't give Vince that veneer of competence. And somebody said, oh, well, you already did, because you said that Vince is a better booker than Tony Khan. And I said, you know what? That's fair. We did say that. And honestly, I stand by it. On some level, I stand by it, because this just, God, it's so bad. Vince is still a piece of shit. And if he died tomorrow, I'm popping bottles with all you beautiful motherfuckers. But like, this is just so bad. I'm like, say what you will about at least Vince, if the reports are accurate, Vince would have let Danielson do the fucking G1. And it seems I don't think Tony will, personally. That's
Nope.
my prediction.
I'll believe
I
it when
don't
I
think he
see it.
will.
I'll believe it when I
Yeah,
see it.
I think Vince, and I can't believe I'm saying this, and if people want to ring me over, that's more than fair. I honestly probably had it coming for a prior take, so we could just say it's retroactive debt paid. I feel like Vince valued Danielson more than Tony Khan does right now. I think he understood more
See, now
what Danielson brings
that
to the
is where
table.
I think you're wrong, because I think Vince understood Danielson better than Tony, but I also think that Tony overvalues Danielson to the point that he doesn't want to let him walk away for 1 month, much less over that. You know what I mean? Like,
That might be a fair compromise. That might be a fair
I
compromise
think Tony is
because
terrified of not having Danielson, and that's why he's not going to let him work the G1.
you know what? That's fair. That's fair because I think ultimately whether he's not valuing enough or overvaluing, it kind of like the circle completes itself. You know what
Right.
I mean? Because I think it
Yeah.
still leads to the same fundamental problem. So I do
It's
think you're right.
what's that
I
song
Yeah,
that says like hold on loosely but don't let go because if you cling too tightly you're going to lose control?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's actually a pretty great lyric. I don't know what song that comes from, but yeah, that's very true. I just, but again, and we touched on this on last week's episode. I think it speaks to a fundamental problem that Tony has, where like I don't even, dude. I'm gonna say something, call it a hot take or what. My personal belief, I don't even think Tony believes in his own fucking four pillars. Because if he did, and if he just
Bro,
believed in his undercard roster, he wouldn't hang on to the Moxleys and the Danielson so hard. He needs these WWE guys. He
that
needs them.
I think that's fair. I think that he is so like you know what? I think you're right in the sense that he doesn't believe in them right now, but I think that he firmly it's like again we're coming back to like the fucking Lex Luthor thing. He believes so thoroughly that they eventually will be everything that he thinks they can be, that he is committed to making them happen no matter what. And he just thinks that he needs all these other dudes around to make AEW stay afloat while they're becoming what he wants them to become. You know what I mean?
So, like, you articulated that well. So, I don't mean that when I say this, but like, how do you articulate that? Like, that doesn't sound like a sunken cost fallacy that he's stuck in. It's more like he's in a delusion,
Yeah, it is. It's
possibly.
like almost like a delusion of grandeur. Like he
Yeah.
values his own opinion of people so much that he is just so fully committed to turning these three, pieces of coal into diamonds because he just swears up and down that he sees the diamond and he's willing to, sacrifice whatever the fuck it takes to make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, my God, dude, you're really telling on yourself when you won't let Moxley go on vacation, when you won't really let Danielson sell being in that 60-minute Iron Man match in the post-match promo where he said he could feel his arm going numb because it's like, oh, we need you guys for TV. Do you? Jamie Hayter's doing fucking great. Give her more main events in their absence. Platform your women more. Keep elevating Takeshita. Don't you have a world champion in MJF? I thought you believed in him. Have him close more fucking shit. Why do we need Danielson and Moxley right now? It's just it's so bad. I was watching those clips because again I'm like I want to be able to hold these conversations. And again, bro, I'm like I'm so glad we don't watch this anymore. I know like you watch it quote unquote because I know it's like on in your house and stuff, but like that we don't actively cover it anymore because it would just be insufferable to me. Again, though, to end on a high note, because I don't want to just drown us all in a depressing fucking river. Riho and Jamie Hayter were great. I will applaud those two women all goddamn day. Dude, credit to them both, especially for the one spot where fucking Riho gets the Samato in the corner
Yep.
for the near fall. That was one of the sickest looking Samatos I've ever seen. I visibly winced from that, bro. I was like, that
Dude,
was
I'm telling
amazing.
you, it's wild how sometimes when people are just allowed to go out there and cook, it makes you forget that you're even watching a shitty product.
Yes. Dude, you're 100% right about that. No cap. No, no, you're 100% right about that. Because I'm like, is this company good? Oh, no, it's just no one's greater than Hater. And like, yeah, yeah. Um, God, truly one of the diamonds in that fucking company. Like, you can call yourself a pillar, but Jamie goes out and she earns that. Danielson goes out and he earns that. And I know what they mean by the concept of pillar, so Danielson wouldn't necessarily fit. Jamie still would.
Yeah.
But they really are, they're the most respectable, credible, believable people in that company. You know, and again, I know there are others, but just from what I watched this week, they stand out. I'm like, these are fucking pro wrestlers that know that they're in a pro wrestling company that want to get their shit over, whether it's good, which Jamie got an amazing dance partner in Riho. Let's not shortchange her at all. Or you're giving chicken shit like Danielson turning heel after fighting his heart out in a 60-minute fucking Iron Man match. Yeah. And Foster said, I'm still convinced Tony might bring back Punk. Foster,
Dude,
anything's
same.
fucking possible.
Yeah, no, same. I feel the exact same way. I would not be surprised at all if he did. Not even a little bit.
I'll laugh so hard if he does, dude. Because, like, you either laugh or you cry. We say that all the time. I'm starting to run out of things to laugh about, though. But, like, that would get a good gut buster out of me. I guess you could say I was thunderstruck. But, yeah. Yeah.
So
God.
good, so good.
I love you, Club Venice. But yeah, that's AEW, guys. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. That's rude because I don't want to dismiss if there was anything you wanted to talk about with AEW because I just hit on all the stuff that I watched, but it doesn't mean we watched the same stuff because there could have been stuff on the show that I missed. So, is there anything you wanted to bring up?
No.
No? Excellent.
I
guess
there was one thing.
Okay.
Swerve's faction is merging with Prince Nana's faction that includes Brian Cage.
Oh, so that's cool. At least Swerve's getting to do a little something, something.
I really hope that this just means that we're not going to have to deal with Parker Boudreaux and the other dude with the face tattoos anymore.
Oh, God. Face tattoos. Neck tattoos. Like, I don't know. I'm down with tattoo culture. I'm still debating at this stage of my life, do I want to get a tattoo? Because I have some ideas in mind. But, yeah, just why there? You know, I don't know.
I think I'm too much of an overthinker to get a tattoo. Because, like, I'm open to the idea of getting one, but then I'm like, what do I care enough about that I know won't, like, betray me or turn bad or look like a bad take 50 years from now that I care enough about to put on my skin forever? Like, I just can't think of anything at all.
Dude, honestly, I love your thought process because it's somewhat similar to mine in the sense of I would get it and I would feel really good about getting it, but then I wouldn't be able to stop looking at it when it fully healed and just wondering, did I do the right thing? Like, you know, was it the right call? But yeah, I guess we can move on to Raw. Fuck.
Do we want to talk about Brock Lesnar beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes?
I wanted to save that because that's so nice. That's so nice. Y'all, what is going? Actually, no, that's a horrible way to start that segment because we know what's going on. I don't like Austin Theory. Again, it's a weak way to start, but yeah, just stating the obvious. That theme is some like it's a 2-pack of fucking cringe ass. It's cringe flavored. It's oh god, that fucking theme.
I thought it was
A-Town Down. Oh.
Bro,
God.
has anyone told you that you are extremely lacking in the melanin department?
Yeah. It's so true. Oh god, he comes out. I will say the best part. Thank you, Foster. Oh my god, Foster, this is why I always believe in you and I will always fucking love you. He knows it. I'm like, am I irrationally hating a theme? It's just every time it comes on, I want to do violence to someone. It's so fucking cringe. Thank you, Foster. Christ. The best thing fucking Theory did on the mic against Ray this week before the matchup, which I missed most of it because I think I was taking a piss break, which is far more satisfying than watching Austin Theory wrestle, was saying, you know, we both did what we said we were gonna do. I beat John Cena and you beat the product of your poor parenting. And I'm like, you know, I mean, broken clock twice a day, etc., etc.
The worst person you know just made a great point.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, God, pro wrestling really is going to be the reason I go back to therapy. I thought it was going to be the childhood trauma, but no, it's this. It's this. I'm going to go to my therapist and be like, so what do you want to talk about this week? AEW and WWE again? Didn't we talk about the past week? It keeps getting worse. Oh, I pay for this time. This is my 45 minutes. Do what I want. But no, yeah, he beats Ray. You guys mentioned that Theory. They're kind of like doing a new Legend Killer type thing with him, and I'm like, ew. Because like retroactively, I loved Orton as the Legend Killer, and he pulled it off so well. And Theory's just, I mean, you've seen the face. Like I don't have to say it. Um, God, and then after that match, we get the Bad Bunny angle with, Priest and Dom. I will say this, and I know how you feel about Dominic. I know a lot of people feel about Dominic, and that's totally fair. That dude, even though I can't stand chicken shit heels, he might be one of the better ones, honestly. Because he's getting the fuck. Dude, did you hear the heat he got on fucking SmackDown when he touched the fucking mic before he even cut the promo? Like,
The heat.
yeah, the heat.
Yeah.
The fucking heat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know because I still think he's really being supported by superior talents. Like Finn's great, Rhea's amazing. Hell, even Damian Priest is solid. If anything, he might even start to be getting underrated by being in this faction too long. But it kind of does it for me. I can't lie to people. It does it for me. And him, but see, he also knows, and I shouldn't say him because I would imply that he has creative control. He doesn't. Triple H or whoever the fuck knows what they have in Dom and how to use him right because he doesn't hit Bad Bunny once. That dude punked him out twice before Damian Priest got involved. And I'm like, that's how you use Dominic. You should always have Dominic talk shit, but he never backs it up unless there's considerable cheating involved. That's how you use him. This is a guy that could not beat a banana peel in a wrestling match unless Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley both got heavily involved. And even then, maybe you would even need Finn. Like that's how you use him. Because he should always be the butt of the joke. Because if he's going to get that kind of heat, then you need to match it with the catharsis you give the audience. And I feel like they did with Bad Bunny punching him not once but twice. I do agree with you there, Foster. We'll get to that in a second, though, because I'm absolutely on the same side as you with that. And apparently Ashton is as well, because I just saw he replied to you. What do you think, though, about Bad Bunny getting more involved? We know he's hosting Backlash. Backlash is Puerto Rico. You and I have said that that's really cool. I feel like it's going to be Bad Bunny and Ray versus Dominic and Priest. So if that is on the card, how would you feel about that?
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's probably
Yeah.
going to be what it ends up being. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super stoked about it. I wish Santos was involved is really what it comes down to.
Dude, I wish, like, they made the return of the LWO feel like such a big deal. I wish they booked it like one. Especially in this day and age, bro, where, like, I feel like wrestling fans deserve a respectable Latino, like, gimmick / faction, whatever. Like, I know you've had your successful luchadors like Ray, obviously, and stuff like that, but we also know that in that same breath, you've had the Mexicools, right? And I would just love a cool Latino faction and Latino World Order when it's led by someone like fucking Santos, because I regard him as leader. I don't really know if Ray is necessarily leader. That's kind of a confusing point. But like, Santos being in it, whether he's leader or not, does give it a cool factor. And then they just lose. And it's like, God damn it. Like, I don't want Santos to go back to NXT in the draft, but honestly, if he would, I don't even know how much protest I would put up for that. But then again, would that even guarantee that he'd be used better? I don't know, because clearly they have other priorities. I just feel like Santos deserves better than what he's getting. The moment that Javaris was like, what if Gunther and fucking Santos feuded? I'm like, ooh, that sounds amazing. I feel like the little kid in me just jumped out because I know that they could have banger matches, but no, he's too busy eating pins from Judgment Day. It just kind of sucks. So I agree with you about being pretty mad. It should be fun, but like, God, I know we were doing games, so I tried to keep up with most of this Raw. Triple H obviously did his promo where like, oh, we're not going anywhere because obviously everybody was talking about the Endeavor deal and everything.
Dude, how have post Raw Manias just consistently been so ass for like 5 years in a row now?
You know what, dude? You're right. But honestly, it's still a win because you and I are sensible enough to keep our finger on the pulse and be like, no, we're not live reacting to that. And we made the right call again this year. Like we just knew. We just knew. Like skip out on it, and I'm really glad we did. Um, did Seth just cut a promo this week? And I don't think he had a
Well, there
match,
was the
right?
whole thing where like something that he was supposed to do got cut short or something, and like they cut to commercial during what he was supposed to do or something like that.
Yeah. Oh wow. Oh God. Jesus. Obviously, the controversy with Bailey. She did not show up with Io and Dakota as they lost to Liv Morgan and Raquel. God, I know this is like Io's dream to work WWE and to really make it in WWE because she was inspired by the likes of Rey Mysterio. But we need to kick this to a higher gear now. Like, again, thinking about the draft, I really hope when I think about people that could use the reset, Io immediately comes to mind. We really need to start utilizing this woman to her full potential. And I love Dakota too, and I love the tag team, but they've already won the women's tag titles. Damage Control was DOA because after the really cool SummerSlam debut as a group, they just never really treated them with the gravity that I hope they would.
Yeah.
So, hell, they could reset Dakota too. I would still like to see Dakota get a women's championship run, to be quite honest with you. I don't think it'll ever happen,
Yeah.
but I think she deserves one. I think she's amazing, both as a human being and as a performer. So I'm rooting for both of them. I'm rooting for Liv. Fuck you, Raquel. That's pretty much where I come away with it. Yeah, I really can't think of anything else to talk about on the Rosa. Amos won his match.
His
I don't know
match
what they're
that
doing.
isn't even going to actually happen, or that wasn't even going to happen, but then something else got cut for it.
Yeah. So he did that. Cool for
Oh yeah, they were
MVP.
gonna do 2 women's triple threats. That's right. It was supposed to be the rumor now is apparently there were going to be 2 women's triple threats, and they were both going to involve a member of Damage Control. Like Dakota was going to be in one of them, Io was going to be in another one, like individually in separate triple threats. Where I'm assuming the winners of those matches would face each other to determine Bianca's next challenger.
Yeah. I was disappointed. I was excited for those tournament matches. Yeah, and then it just cut. So we don't even know what's going to happen now.
But anyway, yeah,
Joe,
let's talk about Brock beating Cody's ass.
yeah, because I really can't think of anything else. Because like I said at the beginning, Javaris, I was saving it because I know like it's been a more depressing week in review with everything that's happened. But yeah, you freaked out. Asha freaked out. We all freaked out. Cody got suckered
Can I just say,
again.
Javaris called the shit out of it too, because he was like, "Oh my god, what if Brock just F5'd Cody right now?" And I was like, "No, that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't do that." And then it fucking happened.
Yeah, he did. All credit to Javaris. He called the shit
He
out of it
did.
for sure.
Seconds before it happened too.
To lay the groundwork for it, this actually came, well, the setup for it actually came after Triple H's promo because Roman Reigns comes out, starts to cut his promo. Cody interrupts, like, I would say 2 minutes into the promo. He's like, oh, I know what I want to talk about. Haha. I had you beat at WrestleMania. I want a rematch. I want it tonight. All that stuff. And then he says, look, you don't want to give me the rematch because obviously they say, that's not going to happen. And he's like, fine. I already faced the two of you by myself anyway. Let's at least do a tag match. Let's do something here and let's do it now. Heyman says, okay. 2 parameters though. Your partner has to be somebody that competed at WrestleMania this weekend. And it also has to be somebody that if they tag with you, they can never challenge for the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which can I just cut in and say as a nitpick, why the fuck does Heyman have the authority to do that? They never explain like how
Is that
Roman
what
and
it
his
was?
cronies
See,
have.
that's interesting because I was under the impression that the stip was that that if Cody and his teammate lost the match, that then they would never be able to challenge for the title again.
See, my understanding, and I'm curious how chat interpreted this because I didn't hear anything about losing. The way Paul Heyman phrased it to me made it seem like Cody, anybody that's going to risk teaming with you just automatically forfeits the right to challenge for the title. If they're going to put their neck out for you, this is the price they've got to pay.
Huh.
And like, either way, though, I
Well,
guess
no,
I can understand.
it's not Heyman though. It's not Heyman's authority to make matches. It's literally just him putting out stipulations on behalf of Roman in order for Roman to be willing to accept a tag match with Cody tonight.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
if you want Roman to wrestle you, these are the hoops you've got to jump through, and if you're not willing to do that, then no match, fuck you, we're gone.
Exactly, yeah. But thankfully for Cody at the time, somebody did seem
At the
willing to do
time.
it. Brock Lesnar, and I gotta give Heyman credit. His reaction phases whenever Brock's music hits, just because of their storied history, perfection, perfection. He's like, oh fuck. Brock comes out, he hugs Cody. Cody's like, "Oh my god, I'm so over. Even Brock Lesnar wants to be around me," and it's great, for him for now. And then we get a bloodline segment, in the back where he asks Heyman, did you know about this? Because Roman never fully trusts people. You've always got to prove yourself to him. That's Sammy's point to Jay and to others. Like you're never fully in the bloodline because only Roman arbitrates that and you're always going to have to prove yourself to him. Heyman had to prove himself again to him to assure Roman, like, oh no, I didn't know Brock was going to be here. He normally goes back to his farm because he only does this and that, which you rescued me from, my tribal chief. Heyman is the perfect sycophant, I'll tell you.
He really is.
And then Roman's like, oh, this is the biggest accomplishment in my career, smashing Brock Lesnar. I want to do it tonight. And then I'm going to tag you in, looking at Solo. And then we're going to see who's ready. We're going to see who's really ready. Interesting thing about Solo, just to kind of pause for a second here. I've seen some people say that they like Solo's character because he doesn't really talk. He's just kind of the silent assassin for the bloodline. But because he doesn't talk, right? They're like, we don't even know how Solo feels about Roman because he was sent to Roman by the elders. So, like, is Solo only here because he answers to that? I don't want to say higher power because it makes me think of the whole Vince segment, but you get what I mean. Like a higher authority in the elders. And it's like, okay, for you, I'll do it. And he doesn't like Roman. Does he believe in Roman's vision? So I feel like that's the thing. Solo only has an interesting character because that character is being projected on him by everybody watching him. His real character is going to be how he's written when the whole bloodline dissolves, which is going to be inevitable. But it is an interesting thing to think about. Like, we don't really know what Solo's motives are beyond appeasing the elders and what he really thinks for himself about Roman Reigns and the bloodline. So just something I wanted to point out that I've been seeing kind of the wrestling Twitterverse and stuff kind of talking about with Solo. I'm curious if that'll ever become anything more because we know now apparently what Solo's going to be doing next, and it's a program with fucking Matt Riddle potentially. That's fucking great. Honestly, appropriate reaction. So then we fast forward to the tag match. Cody's all like, "Yeah, I got Brock Lesnar. If we could just isolate me and Roman, maybe I can pin him. Maybe I can, earn my rematch." And then as Cody gets introduced, and he's like, "Yeah, me." He turns around, he's like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And he gets F5 by Brock Lesnar. Honestly, I don't want to say anything else until I acknowledge, first of all, our tribal chief for beating Cody at WrestleMania, putting him in this position to begin with, but also Stephen Amell, who had the best tweet on the whole situation when he said, at WWE, thank you for ruining my life on 2 straight nights. And it actually cuts to his face in the crowd after Cody eats the F5. And I think he surrendered Cobra. You know,
Oh, that's great.
you might have failed to protect this city, but you did protect my smile, Steven. So thank you, because that was just delicious. Yeah, Brock put a hurting on the boy, man. He whooped Cody's ass, man. Oh god! And then when he rang the bell and gave me Orton vibes, there was a bell to ring, and I didn't. It's all me. Oh my god, the F5 on the steel steps was great. But you know what though? As delicious as it was, we have to remember because this is like AEW light. Nobody probably enjoyed it more than Cody Rhodes because he's thinking, if I suffer, more people will rally behind me, which means I'm more liked. Homelander ain't just an aesthetic. He's got the same psychological issues as the fucking dude. We even know from this past season, Homelander confronts his shred of humanity. Like, oh, you want to be liked by these people? No. Oh, yes, you do. Okay. And same thing with Cody. He desperately wants to be liked. So yeah, Brock doing this, Cody's gonna be thinking, oh god, I'm gonna be so loved after this, and I didn't even have to tear my pec. But yeah, the beatdown was delicious. I enjoyed it. I'm just also aware that Cody probably also feels like he profits from this sympathy wise and getting over and the struggle, and this is part of his redemption story. Dude, I swear to God, if they really do Brock Cody again at Mania 40 in Philadelphia, where Cody's like the spiritual Rocky Balboa, it's going to disgust me. But then I'm also going to be like, you know what? That is so on brand for WWE, and especially for how Cody views himself. Um, so it could go either way. How do you feel about a Brock Cody program? I'm sure you have so much to say about that, but I just thought I'd field that question to you anyway.
I hadn't even really thought about it too much because I was too busy just kind of basking in the glow of the beatdown. Unfortunately, Cody's probably going to beat him at some point. I just hope it doesn't happen often.
You no, I mean, we were doing so well, not to make it too weird, but do I have your consent to bask in your face as basking? Can we do that?
You have my consent to bask in my ass.
I might. But yeah, no, it's gonna be good, mainly because Brock is gonna make it good. You know he's gonna put Cody over like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Cody to win the first match. I'd
Mm-hmm.
like this at the very least to be a 3-match program, but don't Seth Rollins it, by which I mean don't have Cody win all 3 fucking times. Honestly,
Holy shit, that would be horrible.
but it would, you know what? I don't even know what I was going to say. I was going to say that it would be so Cody, but maybe that's not even necessarily true. Personally, I
That's
would have
so
Brock.
Cody.
It's all about me.
That's so Cody.
Fuck you, you don't get a turn.
I'm not gonna keep going. I feel like you're already running out of weird lyrics because you didn't rhyme that time.
I know. I'm sorry. I tried though.
You're great. You're wonderful. Don't ever apologize for being great.
But no, I would personally have Brock win 2 out of the 3, and not only because like I don't care for Cody,
Yeah,
but
have
because
Brock win
like,
2 in a row, and then have Cody win the third one, just so that he can say that he got one.
exactly, I beat
Have
Brock
Cody
Lesnar.
get his win at SummerSlam, so that he doesn't get the fucking Roman match.
Yeah, because I want to keep Roman SummerSlam match open, and Cody is just ew. Revel says that Cody Rhodes is super over. Hope he wins the belt. I mean, that makes a lot of you. And I don't think it'll happen at SummerSlam. Honestly, the more I think about Mania 40, I could totally see them doing that. This long form fucking story where you waste 2 WrestleManias in a row on Cody Rhodes. Amazing. Amazingly mediocre. Or Brock wins and Cody goes away. Foster, you're beautiful, but we both know that's not happening. We have to be realistic, even though it hurts, even though reality really, really fucking hurts. Foster said, in all honesty, I'm cool with Cody winning 1 belt from Roman, not both. Yeah, I could make that compromise, Foster, because again, I'm trying to be realistic.
Can I just say, we have been begging for them to split the titles for, I feel like it's been a year now. I'm done asking for it. If they decide to do it, I'll be happy. But I'm done asking for it because I feel like it's repetitive. It's like, well, I'll be happy if they do this with 1 belt, but not 2, or like that kind of, it's like, no, I'm done with it. I'm done. I want them to split the belts, but I'm just going to keep that to myself now because if they want to do it, they're going to do it. And if they, we've been begging for it for like a year now, and they haven't even teased at the potential at them splitting the belts at all. There's been no hint of it. There's been no even like tease that somebody might want 1 belt and not both. It's not a thing. So I'm just done with it completely.
Yeah, I honestly don't blame you. I think you have every right to be done. It's fucking awful.
And Alex, I don't want you to feel bad for bringing that up. It's not your fault. I still love you. It had nothing to do with anything you. I mean, it's obviously you sparked me saying that, but I don't have a problem with you bringing it up at all. You're all good, man. I know that you tend to think that me saying these things is somehow me being angry at you. You're still wonderful. I'm not angry at you. You're great. Also,
No,
Rebel
like-
Status is in chat. Hi, Rebel Status. How you doing?
Yeah, he was the one that initially said that I was responding. Cody Rhodes is super over. Hope he wins the belt. And then he missed me. Well, guess what? We did, even though I clapped back at the initial comments. So, and yeah, Foster, we love you. Like I said at the very beginning of the show, I never want people to be like upset about asking questions or like sharing wrestling opinions, so long as they're respectful of everybody else and they're not willfully spreading misinformation, because we will not.
I feel like
that.
Rebel thought that we would be like, "Oh my God, are you back? You really like Cody still? How fucking dare you go away?"
Yeah, yeah. Joke's on you. We're tolerant. So much for the tolerant. Oh, wait, that's us. Yeah, except for Nazis. Fuck Nazis. But
Yeah.
that all aside, and God, there are so many of them today. It's really depressing and worrying.
It really
Um,
is, and they don't even try and hide it anymore.
I know. In fact, did you actually know? I feel like it was posted in the politics channel. You heard about the whole Greg Abbott news, right? Or like what Greg Abbott's trying to do and
What's he
everything.
trying to do? What did I miss something, or is
Oh,
this just something that
uh,
I'm forgetting about?
it might be something you're forgetting about. I don't know if it was posted in the Discord or what. Greg Abbott's trying to pardon a guy that shot a Black Lives Matter protester
Oh yeah,
and
no, I
killed
didn't
him.
know about that. That's fucking horrific.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the nightmare timeline. Oh my
I
God,
don't know
American
what's
Nightmare,
worse
Nightmare
between
Time.
that and the Tennessee stuff and the Biden trans athlete stuff. Like, it's all just, we really are living in a hellscape. It's horrible all the way around.
Odie, why aren't you solving these problems fast enough? I thought you solved racism. You lied to
Well,
us.
bro, that's the thing. He did lie to us because if he would have solved racism, we wouldn't be getting some fucking greasy fuck from Texas trying to pardon a murderer.
Yeah, let me just get the exact details here because I know
How?
he was trending hard.
It's literally, it's like, well, you know, you might have
Yeah,
murdered a guy, but at least it was a hate crime. That makes it more acceptable, right?
yeah. Look, I actually, yeah, I more or less wasn't wrong, guys. To give you full context, breaking Texas Governor Greg Abbott just announced that he will pardon convicted murderer Daniel Perry. Perry was convicted by a jury of his peers in the horrific murder of Garrett Foster during the Black
How
Lives
long
Matter
ago was this
protest in July.
posted, by the way, in politics?
I don't even know if it was posted in politics. Maybe I missed something.
Oh, okay.
Because yeah, I'm not seeing it now, or I'm just not seeing it. Period. So sorry that I got to be the one to break the news to you. I thought it was already around, and I was late to the party because you know I usually am. But yeah, this was a murder that took place in July of 2020. Perry was convicted by his peers, and Abbott's going to try and pardon him and
So
overturn a trial that was
he
completely fair.
legitimately got a trial. He was found guilty by the fucking the you go to trial before your peers, all that shit. The jury found him guilty. And now Abbott's trying to say, like, no, 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 the jury was wrong. This guy's great because it was a hate crime.
More or less, yeah, yeah. Like, I
We
see,
live in
and
a
this is
dystopia, John. We live in a fucking dystopia.
and I don't want to hijack. I apparently already did, and I deeply apologize to everybody because I feel like this is all my fault because I brought this up. I genuinely thought it was already in the Discord, but like, this is why I don't fuck with neoliberal identity politics either. Because like, I'm sure there are people that are like, oh, but Greg Abbott's inspiring because he's a governor. I don't give a fuck what his disability is. Dude's a
Huh?
piece of shit. Well, I'm just because he's like a disabled governor, right? And this whole thing with like,
How is
oh,
Abbott
this
disabled?
I think he got in some kind of accident that left him wheelchair bound. Like a
I
tree
didn't
fell on him
even
or
know
something.
that he was wheelchair bound.
Yeah. Yeah. But like between that and like Stephen Crenshaw, like having the iPad, like all that stuff. Hell, like Fetterman even has policies, and we know Fetterman like had the stroke and everything. And I like Fetterman more than those guys, obviously, but he even has policies that like I gravely disagree with. I don't fuck with neoliberal identity. I don't care what your identity is. If you don't have class consciousness, if you don't have consciousness that you're serving fucking awful power that terrorizes the earth and terrorizes people domestically, you can fuck off. So yeah, Javaris being like, bro, can someone push Greg Abbott over and steal his wheelchair? Yeah, give it to somebody that isn't a fucking piece of shit, please. I'd greatly, and that's why, like, it breaks my heart, dude, when I see disabled, like, MAGA supporters, because I'm like, they're gonna fucking kill you. You know that, right? And even if they don't kill you, they're gonna want to take away your benefits. They're gonna want to take away how you participate in civil society. They do not give a fuck about you. They never have. They never will. God, it's fucking depressing. And yeah, so Abbott's trying to pardon a murderer. A guy that, by the way, since I already took us here, I might as well finish the
Oh,
fucking
but
trip.
John, again, remember, it's a murder. Listen, he might be a murderer, but it's okay because it was a hate crime.
Right, right. Actually, I say right, but the important thing is he was white. So it's all okay in the United States of white supremacy. But yeah, he actually said, apparently, according to this one person, that Perry posted on Facebook that he might kill a few people on his way to work. He got in his car, ran a red light, drove directly into a Black Lives Matter protest, and he shot and killed the protester, which again, his name is important. So I want to say it again.
Oh, so it was
Garrett Foster.
premeditated too. That's fucking great.
Yeah, premeditated, and then he uses his defense. Get this, that he felt threatened. You ran into a fucking protest running a red light, and yet you felt
Well,
threatened.
yeah, but like if you can ignore that in a vacuum, he ended up stranded in his car in the middle of a BLM protest, and everyone was pissed at him, and he didn't know why, so he just had to defend himself. Man, come on.
That is an expansive vacuum, my guy. So Garrett Foster is now on the list of black men and women that we should never forget, but the list is so goddamn long. Some names are bound to fade from fucking view. That's how horrific white supremacy
Wait,
in America
was he
is.
law enforcement?
Wait, who are we talking about? Daniel Perry, the killer?
The guy that's gonna get pardoned by Abbott.
I have no idea. That's a good question, but I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know what his line of work was. So again, just to clear up for everybody and just to emphasize, Daniel Perry is the killer. Garrett Foster was the unfortunate man at the protest that was murdered. So yes. And yeah, Greg Abbott is looking to pardon Perry because we are in an extreme right-wing moment that's been precipitating probably for over a decade, if not more. And they're really finally reaping all the fucking treasures here. So congratulations, you fucking ghouls. But to get back to the wrestling, god damn it. Yeah, Cody just fucking exists. That's great.
Hasn't solved racism, clearly.
Hasn't solved racism. You fucking lied the same way. I mean, you grifted about that the way you grifted your way into a WrestleMania main event. Same way you grift people into thinking that you're talented. Cody Rhodes, the American grifter. Actually would be a pretty cool heel tag team with Elias, who's the drifter. Or used to be anyway.
Grifting and drifting, baby. Grifting and drifting.
If that isn't a multi-time tag team championship team in some kind of Southern territory, I don't know what the fuck is. Then we get SmackDown. I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I really actively noted on SmackDown was the Kevin, Sammy, Jimmy, Jay. Well, mainly Jay, because Jimmy wasn't even in the building for SmackDown, and that whole development. Obviously, we get the announcement for the draft. But oh yeah, and of course Santos eating the pin. But yeah, the big tag team storyline, Sammy telling Kevin, but Kevin, I know I can reach Jay. I just got to talk to him. And Kevin being like, look, Sammy, I love you, but if you don't stop being so goddamn stupid right now. He says, like, I know how you are. I know you're going to do this. You need to let this go. And then Sammy's like, you're right. I can't. I'm going to do it. God damn it. Sammy, why do I relate so hard to both of you? Because I have been that friend to other friends where I'm like, you've been here before. You know what this means. Don't do it. But then I've also been the guy in my own patterns and in my own ideals and way of thinking where I'm like, look, I know it failed 999 times, but it's 1,000, baby. It's gotta work. No, it doesn't. What is this numerologist crack that you're fucking
Sounds
no, it
like
doesn't.
a gambler in the making, boys.
Yeah, maybe sit your tweaking ass down, okay? And maybe think about your fucking thought process. No, I love Sammy. I don't want to judge him. I actually do like his character still right now. You know, I even posted in the Discord. I actually was a bit more active in the Discord today because I saw on Twitter and stuff people wondering if that like Sammy's insistence that Jay could be saved would lead to Kevin getting annoyed with him, and that would be the catalyst for Kevin turning heel on him again. And that's not the worst idea I've heard. I don't want to rake over hot coals the people that came up with that. I think that's actually perfectly sensible. But I agree with Chiefin and Mark that were like really against it because it's like, do we really need Kevin turning on Sammy again?
Oh,
I would.
again.
I honestly would rather Kevin have some more depth. And rather than betraying Sammy, his heel turn is taking it out on everybody else because he's heartbroken. Like, I've never seen you fight this hard for me, but you're fighting for Jey Uso like this. Yeah, like, I feel like that would give Kevin so much needed depth because he's not beating the shit out of Sammy because he genuinely loves Sammy, but his love, like, Kevin feels like, I'll put it to you like this. Kevin feels like he's in a relationship, if Sammy keeps doing this, where he loves Sammy more than Sammy loves him. And that asymmetry, Kevin just can't accept. He can't take it. So he's like, look, Sammy, I love you. You do what you got to do, but you really fucking hurt me with this. So go and be with Jey Uso because you clearly care about him more than us. and he doesn't even beat him. Like, his heel turn on Sammy is his words, which I feel like he's never really used because he's always too busy powerbombing him into some fucking ring apron. But he still does that, but to other people, because Kevin doesn't do therapy. No, he doesn't.
Oh,
So,
Sag.
like, if you would turn Kevin heel, my 2 cents, that would be the way that I would fucking do it. I would have it again, where it's like he has this breakup with Sammy, doesn't beat the shit out of him because Sammy is still the one person he loves, and he can't deny that part of himself. But now it's like, oh well, you all still fucking suck. You're all not Sammy, so you're gonna have to deal with my problems. Thanks, Kevin. So yeah, that was one theory. Let me just ask you. I mean, you're far more interesting. I personally am a big fan of your face all the seasons that I've been, in contact with it. So, how would you kind of manage this tag title reign? And we have to imagine that they're going to dissolve eventually. Does Sammy save Jay? Just with this whole storyline, how do you look at its constituent parts? How do you handle all the overarching questions? How are you coming at it, man?
God, I really don't know, man. I think that the Sammy, it's, I think my problem is that I wouldn't have done it the way that they did it up to this point, so it's hard for me to just kind of pick up where they're leaving off when I'm like, I don't agree with this already. You know what I mean?
That's fair, man. That's because you're looking at it like
This
you
story
guys went
could
a
have
certain
been
direction.
told
Yeah.
better a long time ago, and you've diverted to the point that, like, I'm not even interested in trying to continue it from here.
Wow. Okay. I appreciate the honesty, man. I only gave you like that meaty question because obviously I wanted you to be a part of the broader discussion. But yeah, I can appreciate where you're coming from for sure. Um, I've already told people I don't expect Sammy and Kevin to be champions for that long. I don't think this is a title reign meant to be like a dominant one, especially after what the Usos just got done
So,
doing.
you don't think it's going to last that long, but let me ask you this, though. Regardless of whether it lasts 2 months or four, because obviously you're saying it won't last very long, who do you think takes the titles off of them then? Do you think they just go right back onto the Usos?
Okay, so here's where I'm at. I'm gonna say yes to that, but if they beat the Usos in the rematch, honestly, and I don't know how people are gonna feel about this answer, I personally hope it goes on Imperium. I want that faction to be treated with a bit more credibility. I think them having the tag titles would be pretty fucking cool, with Gunther being a dominant IC champion. So I'm gonna say Imperium if they get past the Usos, but I
Oh,
don't know.
God. The
I
only reason
know.
that I can't get behind that is because Giovanni Vinci is just such a fucking charisma vacuum.
I know. I don't even blame you, man. It's just I'm loving Gunther right now, so I'd like to like make the people around him also look more credible. Um, and yeah, that's just one way I could think. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. Not that you should. What the fuck is wrong with you? Cats are amazing. But yeah, that was that. Kevin gets attacked by Solo. When after Sammy tries talking to Jay, like, oh, like I said, there's a way out for you. You just got to take it. And I'm like,
There we go.
bruh, I want Jay to listen to you, but he ain't gonna listen to you. That ain't gonna fucking happen. Foster said Viking Raiders, but then if LDF beat them, that's not the worst idea, Foster. I could also vibe with that, honestly. Viking Raiders are heel, and you ultimately get the tag titles where they should belong on LWO. And then maybe get Santos. Now, I would love for him to be the one to end Gunther's reign, but I still want it to go on for quite a bit longer. I'm just really enjoying his run. But yeah, that's one idea. Um, yeah, then Sammy and Solo, or excuse me, Sammy and Jay have their match. Jay wins because of Solo's interference using the spike. Again, they are protecting the hell out of that spike. I think it's really cool. Jay wins with like a jumping kick to the face. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, good shit. Good fucking shit there. Uh, Jay looks like he's gonna side with Sammy, but oh, he faked us out again. And you know what? I shouldn't be so dismissive because honestly, the crowd was starting to get behind Jay when he stopped the spike again and was like, oh, enough, whatever. And it seemed like he was going to side with Sammy. So he was able to work him again to his credit, but then he super kicks Sammy, says, grab the chair. Matt Riddle returns. Ew. Just ew. Um, and yeah. Yeah, that was SmackDown. Matt Riddle and Sami Zayn stand tall. Thanks, I hate it. Do you have anything you want to add?
I don't think so.
Excellent. I don't think there's any wrestling like from this week, anything like that to really talk about. So I'm kind of open to getting to the extracurricular segment if you are.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, all right. I'm just gonna tell you the only extracurricular things I watched were two interview style shows, oddly enough from AEW, Hey EW with RJ City.
Oh God, I hate those.
I honestly, the two I watched, I liked. I watched Brian Danielson and I watched Jamie Hayter. Oddly enough, the two people again that I really liked this week from all the AEW stuff that I watched. I thought they were both pretty funny. I enjoyed them, and it was honestly great to see Jamie get stuff like that. I wish that they would let her talk more and show more personality because she's a delight. But you said you actually had quite a bit of extra stuff again this week.
Yeah.
So, what have you been watching?
I watched the formation of Degeneration X, basically.
Nice.
I went back and I watched some 1997 Raws, and yeah, there was the basically the first episode. I think it was the 10/13/97 episode of Raw, and it was the first time that Shawn Michaels and Triple H ever referred to themselves as Degeneration X. Basically, this whole thing came up where like they got called degenerates multiple times, and then they started calling themselves Degeneration X. And I watched that entire episode of Raw, and I think I actually watched the next episode of Raw too, but it was like one of those like seamless things where I was only half paying attention, and like the next episode of Raw started without even me realizing it because it was on Peacock.
Yeah.
So I just ended up watching 2 episodes of Raw without intending to watch 2 episodes of Raw. But yeah,
Right.
like it was really fun. I like, dude, it was unbelievable. The first episode that I watched, the October 13th '97 episode. So first of all, we got Owen Hart versus Kama Mustafa. So we had fucking Godfather in his Kama Mustafa gimmick. He was, dude, he had so many gimmicks. He was fucking Papa Shango. He was Kama Mustafa, Godfather, Good Father. Like there were so many. He was just a great performer. Rest in peace, Charles Wright. Right.
Yeah.
Um, then we got, dude, there was a fucking tag match of minis,
Oh wow.
dwarf wrestlers.
Yeah.
It was Mosaic and Tarantula versus Max Mini and Nova, and one of them got legitimately injured. He landed headfirst on a steel plate doing a tope, and JR, or not JR, Lawler King laughed his ass off at it. But they ended the match like immediately because it was like, holy shit, this dude's actually hurt.
Yeah.
But Lawler was just like cracking up about it. He was laughing his
He
ass
was
off.
yucking it up. Yeah.
They showed a clip from Shotgun Saturday Night where in a match between Rockabilly, who we know now as Billy Gunn, and Flash Funk, who we probably better know as Too Cold Scorpio, Honky Tonk Man accidentally grabbed Rockabilly's foot when he was trying to grab Flash Funk, because he was actually managing Rockabilly. That was the whole gimmick, was Rockabilly was managed by Honky Tonk Man, right? So
Yeah.
he's managing him. He grabs a foot. Turns out it was Rockabilly's foot. Costs him the match. They get into a little bit of an argument afterwards, and then Road Dogg comes out, and he's like, "I see a lot of promise in you. I'd like for us to form a team." Billy acts like, "No, man, I'm going to stick with HTM." But when Honky Tonk Man said, he was like, "I'm going to solve your problem right now," he went to hit Road Dogg with his guitar. Billy grabbed the guitar out of his hands and hit him with it instead.
Oh, nice.
So that was the
Wow.
formation of the New Age Outlaws.
Okay.
That happened on a fucking Shotgun Saturday Night show.
Damn.
We were, then I think I want to say on the same show we were supposed to get Flash Funk versus Shawn Michaels, but after Flash Funk came out, Kane came out and destroyed him, and then Paul Bearer cut a promo talking about destroying the Undertaker. Then we got Triple H and HBK coming out to the ring while Flash, and there was this whole gimmick where like they came out to the ring while Kane and Paul Bearer were leaving. HBK pins Flash Funk as if the match is still happening, and Triple H counts the 3, and then Chyna rings the bell, and Rick Rude announces that Shawn Michaels won, and then Triple H and HBK celebrated like he just won the world title.
Yeah, nice.
Dude, you knew that Rick Rude was a part of the original DX, right?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Charles
Um,
Wright isn't dead? Holy shit. I don't know why I thought he was dead. Well, I take that back, and I'm really happy to know that he's still alive then. Good for him. Happy to know that Charles Wright is still around. That's wonderful. But yeah, Charles Wright, excellent performer. So to get back into this, Rick Rude was like the original D-Generation X was Triple H, HBK, China, and Rick Rude.
Yeah.
That was the original four.
Yes.
And then obviously the New Age Outlaws got added later, and then I think X-Pac got added even later. So, but like, yeah. So I went back and I watched all that, and then like there was a really cool thing that they did that I didn't even really remember all that well. It's like as it happened, it kind of came back to me almost in waves. Where I was like, oh my god, that's right, they did do this. Where at the end of the first hour of Raw, they did this whole like cool video package thing, like they were starting a whole new show with like fire and explosions and like this fucking abandoned factory and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it's like his entrance into the show finally. And now we're entering into the war zone half of Raw. It was fucking
Yeah.
sick.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
but then he actually opened the second half in a segment with Vince McMahon where he was supposed to sign a contract to come back from suspension and get a match with Owen Hart at Survivor Series. And he did this cool thing where he was like asking the crowd, like, should I sign it? Should I sign it? And then when he did sign it, he literally signed it holding it up in like standing on the turnbuckles. He held up the contract facing the crowd and signed it with the contract facing the crowd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so apparently the whole spiel was that like apparently he interfered in a match that was like for the vacant Intercontinental title that Farouk was a part of, and I guess Farouk felt like Austin cost him that match, even though Austin
Right.
wasn't in it. He didn't interfere in it because of Farouk. He didn't have a problem with Farouk, but the Nation of Domination were still around at the time, and they showed up and they were pissed, right?
Right.
And Austin challenged any of them to come down to the ring, and The Rock, Rocky Maivia at the time, did, and Austin just stunned him and ran. Oh, it was
my
great.
God.
Yeah,
We
it
know
was a
how
really
Rock sells
fun. It
those
was a
fucking
really fun
stunners.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy though seeing The Rock as Rocky Maivia, not even the leader of the nation yet. Farouk was the leader of the nation at the time. But yeah, like just him being the leader, or not even being the leader of the nation, just being like a background player. It's like, damn, this dude's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny we even talk about the nation because when you started this segment, and I know you and I both love alliteration, I thought you were gonna say I witnessed the formation of domination, and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, we're going into the weeds of the nation of domination. Oh, nice. But yeah, did you watch anything else you wanted to talk about?
Lucha Underground. I watched the first like 4 or 5 episodes of Lucha Underground actually.
Now, given our discussion about just looking at certain media more critically, given that Joseph has now aligned himself with Turning Point USA or whatever, have you noticed any other like concerning things in those episodes, or was it just a good time? Any new notes, any new perspectives you come away with rewatching those episodes of any kind, really?
I actually do want to say more definitively, I think I only specifically watched the first 4 episodes, but I also watched Aztec Warfare 2.
Yes.
I watched the
Yes.
first it was one of those things where like I watched the first 2 episodes and then I was like, this isn't really scratching the itch yet, and then I watched Aztec Warfare 2 because that was more just what I was in the mood for, and then like a few nights later I watched episodes 3 and 4, you know?
Ah, nice,
So
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I don't really feel like, here's the thing, like I feel like any criticisms that we have, we've probably already aired about like Striker talking about chivalry and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
We've already talked about that to death. Like we've addressed the problems. There's no new problems that have really come to light since then that I could notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will say, like, one thing that I always noticed and didn't really say anything about because I was hoping it would change and it never really changed was like, even though Lucha Underground really like prided out itself and like really like put itself out there as like a company that is okay with intergender wrestling, I did notice that the women tended to face the women far more often than they faced the men.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, actually, because I never really paid active attention at the time to the ratio.
Yeah.
Mainly because I was just like, we were both enjoying the
Because
ride.
like, I feel like we could probably name the number of intergender matches in Lucha Underground history on our hands. Like, we could count the number on our hands. Like, it's under 10.
Right.
Whereas, like,
Yeah.
there were quite a few woman versus woman or matches that were exclusively women matches. Even if you want to think about like Mariposa versus Sexy Star, the what was it? The not I Quit. They called it something else match.
Oh, no mas.
Yeah, the No Mas match. But like that was a great feud. But again, that's like this. We're doing just women's wrestling at this point.
Do you feel like if they went long enough that they would have gotten a women's championship?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Because the ideology of the guys running it were just straight up like the whole point of not having a women's championship is to prove that our women can go with our men, and that's the whole purpose.
So maybe if it would have gone on longer, maybe we would have seen more intergender stuff. I don't know, because
I
I
feel,
mean,
well,
it was
dude, to be
clearly.
fair, I think it was season 4 that we got the best intergender match that I've to this day have ever seen, which was Reclusa versus Pentagon.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So like it's not like they didn't have good intergender matches. It's just that they didn't do intergender very often. And like when they did, they kind of stroked their ego about it. They were like, "Oh, look at this. We aren't afraid to have the men fight the women because our women are too badass that they can hang with our men." That kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Anything else that you watched for this segment?
Well, before we even move on, I mean, I still wouldn't just stick on Lucha Underground because, like, I've been again evangelizing both Lucha Underground and Stardom to people, and I got someone to check out Lucha Underground for the first time ever, and they were into the first couple shows. I haven't gotten an update from them since, but dude, it's making me fall all in love all over again with Mil Muertes. He's so fucking good.
He is, man. What an underrated big man, honestly.
It also reminded me how much I fucking loved fucking Drago, dude. Where's Drago? Why has he not been wrestling anywhere in the mainstream lately?
I thought he was doing AAA for a minute, or was I wrong?
He was a AAA guy for long before he ever went to Lucha Underground.
Yeah, true, true. I just thought he went back to that when Lucha Underground kind of, became defunct.
Well, he was working Impact for a while.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He and Aerostar were working Impact as a team. Aerostar's another one. Like, where is he? Like, why are these guys that got basically made into stars just not doing anything in the US anymore? Like, they were so good, and they even got like PWG opportunities and stuff, and they just haven't been back. And I'm like, what the hell, man? And then like it also reminded me how much I love Phoenix. Like, I feel like Phoenix has been so poorly used in AEW. Like, you really see, like, I'm sorry, but how can you? I guess this almost tells me that Tony Khan didn't watch Lucha Underground, because I don't think that it's possible to watch Lucha Underground and come away with the mindset of Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. are best used exclusively in a tag team with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, like how you don't at least try and make Phoenix a massive single star with how well it worked in Lucha Underground, or Pentagon for that matter, to be quite honest. How you don't try and do serious singles runs with either guy, and it's like, no, Lucha Bros is where the value is. It really is kind of befuddling to me.
Yeah.
I will actually no. I just want you to, if you had anything else to say about Lucha Underground, I want you to get all your talking points in, because I actually did remember something extracurricular I watched for all. Well, not maybe not extracurricular. I think it was actually within the week in the world of wrestling. But do you have anything else you want to say about Lucha Underground?
Well, to go back to the intergender stuff, of course, there was the first episode with Son of Havoc and Sexy Star, and Son of Havoc being all like, "I'm not going to wrestle a woman." And then the next week, we get Chavo and Sexy Star teaming up to take on Son of Havoc and Ivelisse, which then led to, in episode 4, Sexy Star going one-on-one with Ivelisse, and that was the first time that Ivelisse ever referred to herself as the baddest bitch in the building.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sexy Star won that match, though, so.
Yeah.
They really did paint Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and to a lesser degree even Angelico at a certain point as losers. Like, all of them were big-time losers until they started teaming together in that season. It was really good storytelling. Like, even, I haven't even gotten to it yet, but I know in episode 5, Mascarita Sagrada beats Son of Havoc. with Ivelisse at ringside.
Yeah.
So we've got fucking. I know that at the end of episode 2, we had the thing where Mil Muertes beat Blue Demon Jr., and then Chavo came out looking like he was going to help Blue Demon Jr., and then he hit him with the chair. So it's Chavo's big heel turn. And I can't help but see Chavo in a more positive light now because of the whole Sherilyn Guerrero shit that's come out lately
Oh, dude,
and
I
him
know.
standing by her.
Yeah, I know.
I just think it's so cool though that like he is like one of the very few people that actually stands like with her. It's funny because it's like it's him and the little girl that Eddie had out of fucking wedlock in like 2001.
Yeah, Kaylee Guerrero, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like oh my god, it's just like damn. If Eddie was still alive, man, if only.
Dude, I don't even know if I want to finish that thought because I've
Well,
had
no,
so
yeah,
many
that's
thoughts
what I'm
come up
saying
about
though.
this.
Is like I would just want to know what side he would land on because I would genuinely, I don't think it's a given that he would just side with Cheryl Lynn, and that's the sad thing.
See, and it's you know what? If you're gonna say that, I might as well say this. I honestly feel like if Eddie was here, he'd be behind bars because I really believe he would have killed Sherilyn's. Well, I guess wouldn't be stepdad in this alternate timeline, but you get what I mean. Like the guy that sexually assaulted her. I feel like Eddie would have fucking killed that dude. That's just the
Really?
vibe that I get.
So you
Oh
think
yeah.
not only would he
Oh
have
yeah.
believed her, but he would have gone the next level?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
that's my belief. I 100% think Eddie would have been like, well, I ain't gonna handle this, so I will. Like Eddie to me, I don't know. It's so weird to say this because anybody that knows me and knows on a personal level, and I'm not talking about it here. I really am not on good terms with my dad, to put it in like the plainest, like not overly dramatic, overly personal ways possible. But my dad always had this energy, like this weird sense of protectiveness, even though he was shitty himself. Or like if anybody fucks with my kids, like I'll kill him. And I'm not saying Eddie was a shitty dad. Like that's not me trying to draw that parallel. I'm just saying that he has that gleam in his eye. Like if you fuck with my kids or my family to a certain point, I'm taking your head off. Like I feel like that heat in Latino heat wasn't just a gimmick. Like I feel like that dude probably had a temper. And if Sherilyn came to him and was like, "Dad, this dude touched me inappropriately, or he did this," like, yeah, that dude's no longer walking above ground. That's my feeling. I've even said like, this is the first time that I'm glad Eddie isn't here because I feel like he'd look at this whole thing and he'd be like, "What the fuck are you all like? What the fuck are you doing, Vicky? What the fuck is this?" But yeah, that is fucked. To get back though to extracurricular, anything else you want to talk about with Lucha Underground?
I think that about covers it. I know, the main event of episode 3 is Phoenix versus Drago versus Pentagon. And it's kind of interesting because Phoenix pins Drago in that match. But then we end up with Phoenix versus Pentagon the following week with Drago facing King Cuerno. What I would expect to happen is whoever does the pinning would be like moved up in the card, and then the other two guys would face off like the following week. Like the two guys that didn't win would face each other in singles, but no, it was the guy that did the pinning and the guy that didn't get pinned went against each other the following week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting the way that they handled that. We got Drago and Cuerno. It was Cuerno's debut. That was cool. It really made me miss vignettes. We don't get fucking vignettes anymore, dude. They're just gone.
Yeah, and when we do rarely get vignettes, I feel like they're so basic. Like it
Like,
doesn't have the
there's no
yeah.
like mystery to them anymore. And they're never for like a cool debut or anything. Like debuts, obviously, it's better to have a surprise debut sometimes. But like, I miss the days of like Carlito Caribbean Cool getting these vignettes where you get to actually know the character before they debut, or like
Yeah.
Kizarni, or like you know what I mean. Like, didn't MVP get vignettes? I don't even know.
I feel like he got something.
Just
I don't know if it was
introducing
vignettes,
him.
but
I
like
know that he had a bunch of times in a row where he would show up and not wrestle because it was like this whole money thing where he was supposed to be like a almost like a take on Terrell Owens where he was like holding out for more money and he was not willing to wrestle unless he got paid this certain amount and stuff. I remember that and that was cool too. Like I just feel like wrestling has gotten so like pasteurized, man.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Um I will say the only extracurricular thing, which again doesn't even necessarily count because I think it was within this week of wrestling. I did actually see Dragon Lee versus Nathan Frazier from NXT, and
I didn't wait. Nathan Frazier.
yeah, I feel like that's his name.
I saw Dragon Lee. Is that Axiom?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought we got
Foster
Dragon Lee versus Axiom this week.
Foster would know better than either of us because NXT is like his favorite brand. But
Or no, it was Wesley versus Axiom that I'm thinking of.
okay, yeah.
I actually watched. I actually had NXT on. I don't know if it was this week or last week, but I think it was this week. Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Dragon Lee versus Nathan Frazier. Not a bad match, but I get what you mean where it's like it doesn't quite feel like Dragon Lee yet.
Right?
Like we
Dude,
know how
that's what I'm
special he is.
saying. Like he doesn't feel special right now. It's like they haven't really given him that chance to be himself.
Yeah. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, Axiom fought with, so we got it together.
My question is, how can you have a Dragon Lee match and not have the over the top rope run to the outside?
I don't know. They did it. Because I didn't see one in
now.
Yeah, they've done it twice now. I don't know, man. See, this is why, like, I almost felt like kind of a curmudgeon in a wet blanket when Dragon Lee when it came out that he signed with WWE, and I was immediately like lukewarm about it. I'm like, oh, okay, because something about it, I'm like, they're not going to really capitalize on his value. Dragon Lee, I just don't see him fitting in a WWE scheme. Oddly enough, I wish Impact wasn't in such a like fucking toilet bowl because if Impact was in better shape, honestly, even though I still think even more of Dragon Lee than this, I could have at least understood him going to Impact to being a part of the X division because I feel like that would have been pretty fucking badass. But I want Dragon Lee to actually be seen by people, so Impact's obviously out. So yeah, I don't know, man. I love Dragon Lee, and the match was fine. But I'm like, and this is no disrespect to you, Foster. I just really can't think of a better way to say it. I'm like, if you were on 205 Live, what would really make you different from some of the other guys that are more in ring and not character based? Like, I don't know. He just seems to do like a lot of the stuff that we already see so much of. Like knee strike is his finish, and it's a cool knee strike. But I'm like, Kenny Omega practically made a career off that, the V trigger kind of thing. So something's missing, man. I don't know.
Telling you, man, it's WWE was like the worst possible place for Dragon Lee to go, because you know that like I hate to say it in this way because it makes it sound like I'm trying to take away from him and how good of a talent he is, but I'm not. Dragon Lee, what made him feel really special was some of the crazy ass moves that he could do that he's not going to be able to do in WWE. Like, I'm sorry, but if we've gone his big, huge debut match and now his first singles match without him getting to do the over the top rope run, it makes me wonder if he's going to be allowed to do it at all.
Exactly.
And he's never going to be allowed to do the Dragon Driver again. I don't even know if he even wants to be able to do the Dragon Driver again because of what happened with Hiramu.
Right.
And like, you take those things away, and like, you still have a really talented luchador, but like, WWE has those already.
Exactly. So I don't know
what about him makes him stand out from the other really talented. Like, what is Dragon Lee gonna do for WWE that Kalisto wasn't already doing when he was here, when he already got fired?
Jabara said he did it at Stand and Deliver. When you say it, do you mean the runner or the Dragon Driver? Because we mentioned two separate moves.
There's no shot he did a Dragon Driver. I don't think he's done a Dragon Driver since he broke Hiramu's neck with it.
Yeah. So I'm guessing, even Foster saying he did the runner.
I must have missed it somehow. I know he did the tope, like the crazy tope that didn't even look that incredible at Stand and Deliver, but I didn't see him do the Rana there.
Yeah, they're saying he did the run at Stand and Deliver. Well,
I must have just missed it because I watched that match. I did watch that match. I don't want to make it seem like I'm just not doing my homework here. I watched it. It must have just not registered with me. So that what does that say about me? I guess.
Yeah, but I can't say I blame you, man. I guess we missed it, but yeah.
Did you watch that match too?
No, unfortunately, I did not. But I feel like I might have seen highlights of it, and you'd think like it would be a part of a highlight package or something. But the thing is, like, with Stand and Deliver, I didn't even see that GIF on Twitter, and I feel like wrestling Twitter usually keeps me up to date on everything, even the things that I don't want to be kept up to date on.
Yeah.
I was happy to be in the dark about the Guerrero thing. I ended up finding that out from one of my mutuals. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I went down that rabbit hole, much to my great chagrin. But I do appreciate our chat keeping us in check. Because yeah, Jamar said, yeah, he did it to Wes, and Wes landed on everyone. Okay, yeah. I guess he did it then. I just hope that they know what they have in Dragon Lee and that he's able to stand out because, yeah, I think he's really, really fucking good. And I know a lot of people were hyped about him going to WWE. So I did want to say that I did watch that. With that said, though, I think we're good to open it up to questions, right? You good?
I think so, yeah, unless you have any extracurricular you wanted to talk about.
No, Dragon Lee versus Frazier was the only thing I want to talk about. So we'll open it up to questions. And I think Caster Sales was waiting for that because I think he just came out with a question right out the gate. Do you think it's possible that there's nothing wrong with Bray and the reason there was no match at Mania was because the people at top want him and Bob to be able to challenge Roman down the road? No, I'm not going to be that five-head about it. I'm going to assume that there was something wrong with Bray.
Who said that? Was that Super Blue?
That was Caster Sales.
Okay.
Yeah. Do I think Bray could challenge Roman? Why not? I think he's above the titles. I don't even think his character should really have an interest in the titles. Lashley, absolutely. I'd love a Lashley Roman match, honestly, at this stage. I think Lashley's a beast. I think it would be a legitimate challenge for Roman. It would be a challenge, honestly, that even with bloodline interference, I'd be like, oh, could Lashley pull it off? So I'd be open to that. So Super Bowl said he did over the top rope. Okay, so yeah, everybody's saying yeah, we've got it now. He did the run at the pay per view. We'll have to go back and see it because I'd be curious. Foster said honestly it was my favorite match of the event, so I remember a good chunk of it. Foster then asked me what were my thoughts on Frazier John. He's solid. I feel like I've seen Nathan Frazier in the past. He's a good dude. I really don't know much about his promos. He's got a great look. I think he's got a solid look. Apparently, he's been on a losing streak, according to people in the comments that I saw of the Dragon Lee video. So I have to wonder if that's going to be like a story where, like, man, this dude's really good and he's got all the tools. He just can't put it together to get the wins that he desperately needs. I feel like that's a story we've told before, but telling it with a guy with the upside of Frazier might not be the worst thing. Maybe it'll culminate in an NA title win, or maybe it won't. Who knows? But I think the dude's solid. Again, forum is open for questions about this week in the world of wrestling, and I know it's been a huge week, so just go nuts, guys. Really. If there's anything we didn't touch on, or maybe things that you wanted us to go deeper on, whatever, just fire away.
Who would be the worst case scenario to join BC with El Phantasmo's Exodus? I already said this in Discord. Yo,
I saw that. I think that'd be hilarious. God. I'm blanking on the dude's name. Who's fucking Master Watto. I'm gonna say Watto. Being like, screw being the Grandmaster.
That would hurt me.
I never want to hurt you. I'm sorry.
I feel like that doesn't make Bullet Club lamer, but that just makes Watto lamer.
Yeah. That's why that's how I'm taking worst case scenario. It's like because anybody joining Bullet Club, it's like you're hurting your own stock at this point. That place is
see, I took it as like who could possibly make Bullet Club lamer at this point. Yo.
No, dude, I feel like it's so deep in the grave. We're excavating bones like we're archaeologists. I'm like, no, I feel like Watto. It's like that's Bullet Club is where careers go to die. So let's keep pace with questions. Do you think Matt Riddle has gotten his shit together, or do you just not, or you just don't care? Well, I don't care about Matt Riddle, but I don't think he's gotten his shit together. I think he's a piece of shit. I think he's gotten good at maybe a bit better at burying his shit, or maybe the company just believes in him that they're willing to overlook it heavily. But yeah, whatever it is, I have completely done a 180 on him from when he debuted in NXT. I remember when I was so fucking high on this dude because I remember I told Ashton, I told anybody that would listen, he's going to be one of the next big things in wrestling. This dude's fucking awesome. He has crossover appeal. And then the closet opened that he was keeping all his skeletons in, and Jesus fucking Christ, I was mortified. And my God, I think his stock has sunk ever since. Do you have anything to say about the Matt Riddle thing before we move on to the next question?
The product is better without him on it.
Yeah. Your face makes this product better, though. I mean, talk about opposites, am I right? I mean, Matt Riddle's absence makes that product better, and his presence makes it worse. Whereas it's the exact opposite with you here. Your
Thanks.
face improves things, so
Appreciate it.
that's a win at least.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Um, absolutely. Do you think Rhea versus Zelina will be a good match? Absolutely,
Oh
Caster.
my god, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, those two can
Is that
work.
match happening? Is that like a confirmed thing? Or is it just
I don't.
because like Judgment Day and LWO now are a thing?
Yeah, I think that's where people are grasping. Not to diminish the question, but I think a lot of people want Rhea Zelina for that reason because we're seeing a lot of Judgment Day
Oh my
LWO
god, yeah.
interaction.
Rhea would be immediately one of the best bases that Zelina with her lucha shit has ever worked with.
Oh, absolutely. Javaris. So is David Finley irreparably damaged Bullet Club? Respectfully, Javaris, because I got nothing but love for you. To me, you can't irreparably damage what's already been long since broken.
Yeah,
I
no,
have not
evil.
given a shit about Bullet Club in years.
Evil, irreparably damaged Bullet Club. David Finley just hopped onto the heap.
Yeah. Perfectly said. Look at you. Hopped onto the heel. God, my body tingled a little with that alliteration. Look at you. Doing so great.
Glad I could
Um,
provide.
any other questions, people? We are open to the masses. We will answer all inquiries about this week in the world of wrestling because we watch most of it, mainly painfully while we're watching our souls slowly die.
Yeah.
And will wrestling be good? Shh. When the next Stardom show comes out. Shh.
Oh, Alex
Um,
Foster wants our thoughts on Braun Breaker's heel turn. Did you know about this?
I did actually. This is actually another thing I watched.
Nice.
Foster, I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Do you think it was a heel turn? Because apparently, from what I read, Carmelo cheated a little bit to beat Braun at Stand and Deliver. Um,
I watched
so
that match and I don't remember. I mean, listen, I think there might have been some Trick Williams shenanigans at some point in the match, but it was not like the difference maker by any means.
then, if this is a heel turn, he's a Steiner.
I
It's in
don't
his
think it's
blood.
just a heel turn. I think it's a double turn. I think that Mello is face now.
Yeah, it seems like he's been going in that direction for a while too. Um, look, he's a Steiner, Foster. I personally can't wait for the heel promos. I hope he turns the fuck up. Fuck Rick Steiner though. Um, so yeah, Caster with another question. Bob, that being Bobby Lashley for the uninitiated, and Bronson are about to feud. Do you think it'll be good? It's two meaty men slapping meat. It could go either way. More often than not, it goes well.
Bob, as in Lashley and Bronson Reed, are about to feud.
Apparently,
What?
yeah, dude, same energy,
By the
honestly.
way, to come back to the Braun Breaker thing, fuck Full Sail. Fuck them all the way. I hate them so fucking much.
I mean, I agree, but can you contextualize that a bit more for us? They
They
like,
have been booing and jeering and arguably heckling Braun Breaker for so long now. And he turns heel. And now we have a babyface Carmelo Hayes, who they've been cheering for the most part, despite him doing everything in his power to try and stay heel throughout this whole journey. Braun turns on him, and as he's leaving the ring after hitting, I believe it was Trick Williams with his finisher, we get one more time chance.
fuck Full Sail. I'm just gonna join that bus immediately.
They're the fucking worst.
Yeah.
NXT needs to get the fuck out of Florida.
We've been saying that for a long time now. Super Blue asked, instead of Shane, should we have gotten Lashley and Snoop versus The Miz and LA Knight at WrestleMania 39 with the same finish?
What?
Maybe because it was rumored that Lashley and LA. Well, I don't even know if it was rumored, but I know people were pushing. Maybe it was just Super Blue pushing for
This
LA
is
Knight and
just
Lashley with
Super
Miz.
Blue pushing his LA Knight agenda. Super Blue, stop simping misogynist pieces of shit.
Yeah. So, look, I don't think you should have trotted Shane out there. I mean, for very obvious reasons.
Bro, they didn't know he was going to tear his quad when they sent him out there.
Can I be a piece of shit for like 2 seconds? The only thing that would have made that quad tear better is if you would have had a live mic on his shirt or something, and he would have made the noise. I am sorry. I am sorry. I know that was awful.
Bro, Shane McMahon mic'd up. Holy shit, that's a dream come true. he's like on the mic. He's talking about what gonna do a leapfrog. You missed me, Miz. What are you gonna do? Oh, ow, oh, ow, oh.
See, you laughed in the end. Now I feel less bad about it. Yeah, that would have been amazing. But no, Super Blue. You shouldn't have trotted Shane McMahon out there without a live mic. But I
Without
don't
a
really
live
think that
mic
would have
is the
been.
key part here.
Yeah. I mean, God, am I losing my humanity? No, I'm fine. But no, that tag match definitely isn't the answer. So okay, yeah. Then Foster and Javaris are still talking about the Braun thing. Javaris, how do you think Melo's run with the NXT title will go now that he's face, and can NXT get the fuck out of Florida? I think Melo can have a very promising run. I do think I'm gonna keep saying it till it happens, just because I fear it. I do think he'll lose it to Grayson Waller though. But
They had to
yeah.
keep the champion face so that they could keep the option of putting the title on Waller open.
Even though the champion's face, they're certainly not saving face. So let's see.
No, they are not. They most definitely are not.
Oh God, Foster said I feel bad for laughing because Shane seems all right by comparison to most McMahon's, but nah, I almost fell on the floor laughing. It was so random, Foster. We were all like, "What the fuck just happened?" And then when it became clear, it's like, "Oh, that's why you don't go with the old fucks." Any other questions, guys?
He was so out of breath when he got to the ring too.
Dude, the moment he hit the ring and looked gassed, it was over. Like, he still didn't want to give Miz his.
Apparently, the Miz did technically get a dub by referee decision, though.
Oh, thank God. That's all it took, huh? It literally took Shane McMahon tearing his quad. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, baby? What the fuck are you doing? God, I'm about to reach the point of laughter where I get spittle all over my desk. I really can't even control it. But yeah, yeah, any other questions, guys, please? It's all good in this neighborhood.
Oh my god.
How you doing, friend? You doing all right?
I am doing wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Fucking great. I'm okay. I'm gonna keep this open for a few more seconds, but it doesn't seem like anybody has any other question, which kind of surprised me because I know this was a loaded week in the world of wrestling.
I mean,
But
dude, we've already gone for almost 2.5 hours. This is already probably our longest weekend review yet.
wait. Javar said he asked one more question. Can you ask it again here more recently? Because other people were talking about other stuff.
Unless you're just talking about. Oh wait, here. How do you think Melo's run with the NXT title will go now that he's facing can NXT GTO out of Florida?
I guess I technically did.
The
Yeah,
Waller thing.
I already answered the Melo part, but maybe he was seriously asking about the Florida part. Dude, if they haven't gotten the hell out of Florida now, I doubt that they will in the foreseeable future. I wish they would, but I don't know. This seems like it works for them.
Rhea and Bianca teased a match on Raw. Who is the best of the best? Give me Rhea
Still,
over Bianca personally.
I would say Rhea as well, but silly Caster, you know that they're going to resolve that at Survivor Series,
You
maybe
mean
possibly.
at WrestleMania 40? Hello.
Whoa. You're right. I'm sorry.
Which one
That's
of them, do you think one of them wins the Rumble next year?
Nah.
No.
I don't think Rumble, nah. Oh, that was a serious question, Javar. He said, I asked how hilarious was it the Chamber let his quad like a spot. Look, it was funny to a degree. I don't like wishing anybody get hurt, again, especially if they don't have a live mic on them. But it was more sad and awkward than anything. I'm like, what is happening? And then that happened, and then we're like, oh, just like his dad. And then we all laughed about it, reflected, and then that was it. But yeah, I'd say in the moment, funny, but then it immediately got awkward and sad. It's like, wow, this is what happens when you rely on the old people. Super Blue, is Tekla still a part of DDM on the phone so I can spell? Yes, she is Super Blue. Yeah, That seemed like more of a general question, but yeah,
Yeah, Tekla
we'll do
is
that
still a
one.
part of DDM. The only reason that she was being pictured with members of Club Venus is because they kidnapped her.
Which, I mean, look, we deny all charges, but we do what we got to do to win, hopefully. So,
Dude, Javaris, same. It looked like the same fucking injury that RG3 got in that 2012 NFC Championship game against the Seahawks. It was wild.
all right. I feel like we can almost close the forum here on questions, but I do just want to ask one final time.
I'm just realizing it wasn't the NFC Championship game. It was an earlier playoff game than that, but still, it looked like that kind of injury.
Yeah.
Javaris, yeah, Club Venus just fucking abducted her.
Javaris, let's be mindful of the
Simmer
terms that we
down.
throw around, okay? Yeah, maybe simmer down and be careful of the terms you invoke in case you want to be countersued. You know, just saying, maybe mind your business. Any other questions from the
Hit him
forum?
with the mind your business. Damn.
Yeah, I went there.
Uffarino.
Yeah, I know. That's how you know I love Club Venus if I'm willing to go there with somebody I respect. Better than being abducted by ninjas. Oh God, Mark. Oh God.
Oh.
Uh, okay, guys. I'm gonna assume that there are no more questions.
Yep. Moving
So
along.
let's move on to high spots, low shots. God, after how we laughed again, I want to say my low shot was Shane McMahon.
I mean,
Fuck.
I'll steal your spot here and say my low shot was Cody Rhodes because it just feels too fucking good to not say.
Perfect. Yeah, low shot being Shane seems too mean spirited. I'll say low shot Jey Uso because like he's still fearful of Roman and he's still laboring under the illusion, but he did lose the tag titles. So what he did lose was Roman's favor because Roman's definitely looking at him differently. And I say Jey Uso specifically because he also ate the pin in the tag match that caused all this. So you know Roman's going to leverage that against him. Super Blue. God damn it. Hold on. He said, "Did you see my Darby question about Cage and Swerve?" No, I did not. So
And
I have
then his
to.
question was, "Did you see Darby Allin get wasted by Brian Cage and join?" Wait, what? Okay, you worded it weirdly, Super Blue. Brian Cage. We talked about Brian Cage and Swerve joining forces. Yes.
Oh yeah, we did address that. So yeah, we're good. Um. Anyway, to stay on track. So yeah, I'll go Jey Uso. You're going Cody Rhodes. Who's your high spot?
Oh, high spot. Let's see. Um, God, there's such an obvious pick, but I kind of don't want to pick the obvious pick. High spot is going to be. Fuck it, nothing else is coming to me. It's Roman Reigns.
First of all, not to correct you with tone, since I know I'm going against an expert here, but your face is the obvious high spot because it's had immaculate takes all week. So let's get that clear.
I mean, he
Second of
defended
all,
his title successfully at WrestleMania and then was fully prepared to have a second match and then just got the night off for free.
yeah, pretty much. But you know what? If you're going Roman Reigns, I'm going to say my high spot's Brock Lesnar. Beat a Moss at WrestleMania and fucking turned on Cody Rhodes. Got paid for a Raw that he showed up on and still hasn't wrestled there in over 20 years. Kept that streak intact.
Oh yeah, Sonata
So,
is a really good high spot too for this week.
oh, for sure. For sure. He finally won the big one. But you know what? That Brock beatdown was so good. I'm still going to go with Brock over Sonata. But Sonata, I would say,
So
would be like
since
an
the
honorary
match
high
never
spot.
happened though, Brock isn't technically disqualified from challenging Roman again.
Well, because he was already forbidden from that after SummerSlam. That's why he was able to beat the caveats, because it's like,
Oh, I forgot about that. Wow, man. Isn't Riddle also banned from ever challenging Roman again from their feud?
yeah, but you know what the funny thing is I'm still fearful of Riddle far more than I am of Lesnar. Like, I just wonder if Riddle's going to find a workaround or some shit storyline wise. And I'm going to be like, fuck.
I just think it's hilarious though that Roman is out here actively banning motherfuckers from trying to challenge him again.
He's like, look, the title reign is already super long. We're not going to try and be as repetitive as possible. We need to thin the fucking
Yeah,
herd.
no more repetition. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
So I would say that about covers it. One of our longest TWitWoW reviews in recent memory. Holy shit. But we knew it would be, though. This week, was
was
insane.
very eventful. We had both nights of WrestleMania, post Mania Raw, WWE officially getting bought out by whatever the fuck that company is.
Endeavor.
Sakura Genesis. We had, I think there was a Stardom show this week, right? I don't even know anymore. There was a lot though this week. It was a long week.
I don't know anymore either, friend. Let's not know together.
And it was the first time in a while that I actually paid attention to NXT this week.
Yeah, same as you know, because I saw Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier, and
Yeah.
I think I might have seen something else.
I saw Wesley versus Axiom and another match, and the main event that was like the whole Braun Breaker Carmelo Hayes thing at the end of the show.
Actually, yeah, I remember what I saw. So I saw Dragon Lee Nathan Frazier. I saw the Braun heel turn like you did, but then I also saw Cora Jade's return, and that was another thing that I saw. Yeah. So she returned after Indy Hartwell defended against Zoe Stark and attacked Indy after Tiffany Stratton had come out and distracted Indy by saying, "Oh, that's my title," and then Lyra Valkyria confronted Cora Jade in the parking lot.
Nice.
Nobody was attacked, and it was safe for once. But
Lyra Valkyria is a badass.
Yeah, she's fucking awesome.
Not only does she not attack her opponent from behind, but like she chooses the most dangerous spot of them all to have the face-to-face confrontation. What a badass.
Absolutely. So yeah, that was This Week in the World of Wrestling, brought to you by the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today, TWitWoW. I'm John. That's my coordinating commentation. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out and subscribe with the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast on the web today. And when are we seeing him again, bro? Like, is it even Monday even that we're going to see him again?
Yeah. We've got a Stardom Monday. We've got Stardom Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Good shit. I'm down with it. So yeah, guys, is that going to be Monday at 5?
You know what? Let me pull back up the schedule, and I'll tell you definitively what time I have it set on Monday.
Ooh, definitiveness is so definitive.
It is. I actually have us going live on Monday at 4 because, again, we have game night Monday, and I know that you like a decent break in between us finishing Stardom shows and game nights. So.
Okay, so it's going to be 4. Okay. Yeah, that
Monday,
works.
Monday 4, Wednesday 5, Thursday 7.
Ooh. Okay. Well, you guys know that's when we're coming back. So until then, be good to yourselves and each other. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see you Monday at 4 for more Stardom goodness. And for you Discord members, it's $3 a month. You can check it out in the Patreon link below in the description box. Join us for Games and Chill Monday night during Raw. All right. Tune in. Peace out.